Welcome back to the Overwatch Open, everyone. We just wrapped up a match between Misfits and Luminosity, and I gotta give it to my analyst up here on the desk. You guys both called it. Misfits came out in a big way. That was a 2-0 victory, and it went pretty quick, too.
Yeah, it was very one-sided, very decisive. I mean, overall, I think they're just the better team. LG, of course, had moments of brilliance, but, you know, credit where credit is due.
And anyway, it felt like Misfits came out even stronger today and LG came out a bit weaker. I mean, you look at what happened on Kings Row, that was one of the most dominant maps we've seen in the entire EU stage of this thus far. So it was huge coming out from Misfits.
Yeah, I want to say Luminosity, one of the last teams to play last night, early to play today. Got to be a little tired, but Misfits did phenomenal. So let's go talk to them with Malik.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Crew, you guys looked like you pretty much rejuvenated yourselves from yesterday. Is that safe to say?
Can you repeat, please?
Is it safe to say that you guys have bounced back from yesterday?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. We beat them every time, so we were so confident. Not too much, but we played like scrims, so it was fine.
Gotcha, gotcha. And next coming up, you have Ninjas in Pyjamas. They have that crazy Roadhog player by the name of Himsy. How do you guys prepare to contain him?
We know it's a crazy Roadhog. All of his hooks is amazing, so we have some strategy to defeat them, but it's secret. You will see.
Cool, cool. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on winning, and we're going to send it back to the desk right now, so take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Malik. That's right, he's got to get back in his chair because they're going to have to play against Ninjas in Pyjamas in just a little bit. But before we get there, let's recap their match against Luminosity. We started things off on Kings Row. ZP, why don't you start us off?
So Kings Row, the beginning attack from Misfits was just nothing short of brutal. Not only did they get the first point super quickly, they just kept continually chaining death after death. And when you give Soon uneven number situations, he just cleans up. It was a case where LG was just never able to really regroup.
Yeah, the interesting part was even on the first point, they took it without actually any deaths. Is that they pushed them back, LG fell back, and the Maywall went up, and they took the point uncontested. It's a very interesting thing overall.
A little non-violence play.
Yeah, pacifists.
And then you take a look at LG's own attack where they were super tentative. They almost looked scared at points where they were going in, backing out, going in, but never really committing to anything. And it just felt like they were just in perpetual terror of Misfits flanking them. And Misfits did flank them and absolutely stymied any hope of them getting anything going on offense.
Yeah, for me, the story of Misfits is they just cleaned up their play from yesterday. Very clean ult usage, and more so the Reaper coordination. We saw so many times Soon dropping down, and from a support point of view, that takes a lot of effort. You got to have clear comms. You got to say, all right, you're going to drop, I'm going to throw that Zarya bubble, we're going to throw you a nano boost. And they did it so clean, because we've definitely seen teams mess that up in the past, especially here.
Yeah, right. And big plays from Soon and crew, you know, meeting up, pulling in those Graviton surges, and making things really convenient for the DPS players. That trend continued over onto Eichenwalde. Solid play from Misfits, but it seems like Luminosity also really rallied here.
So the cool thing about Eichenwalde is that you take a look at Manitin. Manitin had exceptional Mei control in the very beginning. It bought them a lot of time on first point, and LG stayed aggressive on the defense for quite a while, and there was a point where they were playing the ult economy game much, much better than Misfits, where it felt like we saw a different LG team, but only for the beginning and into a bit of seconds.
Yeah, what really stood out for me for Misfits is that they were confident. Even when they lost one and they were going into a fight 5v6, they stuck in it a lot longer than they should. And the big question for LG was, can they shut down the Reaper ultimate? Can they shut down that Beyblade strategy? And it was a question of, is that a Reaper or is that Soon? And that was a trick question because it was neither. It was Nevix. Nevix was on fire this whole game, and crew had ideal shields. Every time they had a pulse bomb, he saved that shield and he threw it on whoever was targeted.
Nevix, with that support, basically went full hero status, and that's where Misfits started to run away with it. The LG started out strong, but once Nevix started going in, huge Reaper plays moving in. We've seen it all tournament long, but Misfits executing it brilliantly, and in the end, LG did not have the best response for it.
Yeah, overall, Manitin, like you said, great Mei usage. I like that they adapted. They changed up their composition. We didn't see too much Mei on Kings Row, and they switched to Reaper as well. So they said, you know what, if you're going to play dirty, we're going to play dirty. We're going to go for that Beyblade strategy too, but it didn't quite work out for them. Overall, I think they, also went the Pharah. It was very interesting, but as you can see, Nevix, especially on that Reaper, was doing a great job, and he also did great things on that Mei on Kings Row. So can't take anything away from this guy.
Nevix, again, you look at his versatility just on Eichenwalde alone, going all sorts of different heroes across the spectrum. Only thing he wasn't on was the support, but Misfits, they just played exceptionally well throughout. And one thing about Eichenwalde, too, when you look at the Misfits defense, it felt like LG wasn't really respecting their traps and jump downs, where every time Misfits was set up for a flank, a Reaper coming in over the top or anything like that, LG just ran into it time and time again, and it was unfortunate.
That's right. And we saw Luminosity, that overtime double push, taking a page out of the Misfits book. But when we come back, we are going to see the Misfits play against Ninjas in Pyjamas. We will be right back, of course. And this match coming up is going to be a best of 5. Lots more action, many more games to really test these opponents against each other. Don't go anywhere. The action continues and even gets more exciting in just a few. Welcome back to the Overwatch Open, everyone. Our elimination phases continue now with a matchup between NIP and Misfits, but now we're going for a best of 5 because we are getting closer and closer to that amazing match on Friday night. That's going to be at 10 p.m. on TBS.
$300,000.
$300,000.
That's a lot of nuts.
Or Skrilla.
No.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about NIP first up, guys. We haven't seen them yet today because they won their way through the bracket.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if they're gonna have a little bit of cold feet here. Misfits obviously going back to back there, having a lot of experience getting, you know, they're warmed up, they're ready to go, their setups all set. I don't know, it's gonna be a close match. I feel like NIP, if they wanna win, that they're gonna have to get a pick, all right? They're gonna have to rely on this guy right here, Himsy, with the great hooks, constantly getting it in that side, picking off tanks, and they just have survivability. I feel like on the other hand, Misfits are going to be a little bit more in your face, but this is where NIP really shine.
All right, let's just get this out of the way here, folks. The camera's going to be on Himsy the entire game, okay? Because Himsy is love, Himsy is life.
Yes.
He's going to hook everyone, and it's going to be awesome. And I cannot wait. And then I'm going to be in the back, and I'm going to scream. And this is the professional analysis that I bring to the table, everybody.
It's funny too because he likes to pick on Lucio's. It seems it's like his thing.
He really does not like Lucio.
I don't know what it is.
He's been hanging out with Mr. X way too much, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, what a great job controlling those higher levels there. You know, from the ground,
Yes.
amazing hooks, definitely something to watch throughout the event. And if we're going to talk about who he's going to be landing those hooks on, that's going to be Misfits and specifically probably Zebosai. What else do we know about Misfits going into this matchup? We just saw them play. They're going to be kicking some butt.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Misfits, they just had an incredible series where they dominated Luminosity. But, you know, the story here has been picking up Hidan and Rib as the substitutes, right? The new players on this squad and how this Misfits roster synergizes together. But for Misfits, the opportunity here is to really upset Rogue. Rogue are considered to be one of the favorites going into this, so they want to get to that next fight. So they have to go through NIP. They have to go through Ninjas in Pyjamas. But it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do so because despite how talented this roster is, NIP, Zebosai is going to get focused down, and that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, it's a big issue. Overall, they relied a lot on that Beyblade Reaper ultimate strategy with all the support in the world. Zarya Shield's crew doing a great job last round, constantly saving his shield, actually, just for those pulse bombs. And that's going to be the combination. That's going to be the winning strategy. If they can do that, they can win. But at the same time, NIP's been sitting in the back. You know, they know this is coming. They've scouted the games. They've had all the time in the world to say, you know what, we know their strategy. It's just, can they defend it? Because you're running this very strong Reaper on Soon. On the other hand, they like to run tank heavy. And Reaper is the perfect counter to NIP's strategy.
Well, it's going to be pretty exciting to see how it works out. Let's get some insight from NIP Zappis. Malik just spoke to him earlier today.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Zappis, going into today, how are you guys feeling? You guys had a strong day yesterday, but did you get your rest? Are you ready to go today?
Yeah, we are ready. Like, I woke up early, went to a morning run, and the team is feeling really good, and we're ready to play our game and hope to win.
Excellent, man. Yesterday, not Zappis, you're Zappis. Yesterday, Himsy had crazy hook plays the entire game, and I was wondering to myself, how many plays and how many strategies do you guys craft through his hook and his Roadhog play?
Well, it's obvious that we try to, our game is that we maximize Himsy's hook effect. Like, we try to play that Himsy has easy hooks, he gets the hook positions easily, and that's how the game works for us at some maps.
Sometimes it shocks you when he gets a hook, because to me, some of those just don't even seem human-like. Like, I don't understand how they even register.
Yeah, it's not totally random. We have planned these things. That's how we play Hog, and that's why we're the team that plays Hogs almost all the time.
Cool, man. Last question. Misfits is playing against Luminosity right now. Misfits is looking very strong, like they might pull it out. If you are to go up against them, how do you feel about that match?
I don't know. It could go either way. It's 50-50. Like you said, Misfits, really strong players, really strong Reaper and Tracer players. And I don't know, we have to see, the first map's gonna tell the difference. And if their DPS players are really hot, then we'll have trouble. But our gameplay is good, and we just try to do our best.
All right, man. Well, I have to say it's been a pleasure watching you guys do your thing at the live event. Keep up the good work. I'm going to be watching. And on that note, we're going to send it back to the desk. Take it away, guys.
Zap is such a thoughtful guy. Definitely a guy. Oh, I was going to say that I would follow into battle, but here we are. He's not even giving me the option. He's bringing the fight to me.
I would follow that man in the battle.
That's actually what he wore this morning when he went for his run.
Yeah.
That he just was jogging down the streets of Atlanta. Everybody was scared. Some cops got called, but he's too quick. Too quick. Too scary, too. I wouldn't want to stop that guy.
Yeah, no, Zappis is awesome. He's a really good guy who, clearly has just been a great leader for this squad. So, honestly, I really like Ninjas in Pyjamas. Overall, I just think this squad has a lot to offer. But, oh man, this is going to be a fireworks show. I love it.
Well, Zappis doesn't get to defend Sparta today, but he does get to choose what maps he is going to play on. And we're going to start things out with Watchpoint Gibraltar, but everything else you see behind it, that's going to be loser's choice. Each round, the loser gets to pick the next map.
Once again, no control point maps. I don't know what is going on with today, but it seems to be a theme that they've all done like some kind of gentleman agreement or something. Let's not play those maps. Overall, I feel like the draft phase at least favor NIP. I feel like they won that. If I'm Misfits, I'd feel very comfortable going into those maps, but maybe they're scared that, you know, NIP have something up their sleeves.
I mean, you know, I think that if NIP were to fall for this first one on Watchpoint, or excuse me, Misfits were to fall on Watchpoint Gibraltar, I could definitely see Eichenwalde coming up because of just how good this team plays. So I think this next matchup, Watchpoint Gibraltar, I gotta go with NIP on this one just because Himsy's gonna pull off some incredible angles. Again, he is the player to watch, and when he gets heated up, you have to watch out because Zebasai, he's gonna be a target.
Anything from you, Huck?
So you're NIP.
Quick, 2-0.
I'm NIP.
I'm gonna go Misfits.
Misfits NIP, let's see how it all turns out. I'm gonna hand it over back to our casting team. We've got ZP and Mr. X up in the box.
Thank you, Rachel. We have a fantastic match on our hands. NIP going up against Misfits. But ZP, before we begin, I got to get your thoughts on this first map, Watchpoint Gibraltar. Who do you think it favors?
Going to Gibraltar, certainly NIP has had a really good track record on this map recently. However, I do think there's situations where Misfits, who tend to be a little bit more aggro, a little bit more coordinated, might be able to break through NIP and hit them with a strong haymaker hard. So for me, I actually think that Misfits has a good chance here, despite NIP's recent success.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know, NIP, they're really, I mean, we kind of came into this whole event, right, talking about the 3 tank, 3 support setups, and that's what they're going to be going with on the defensive side of things. And actually, it's going to be 4 tanks and 2 supports, so that's a little bit different. And on the side of the Misfits, we talked about, you know, they're not going to match with those tanks. They're going to go a little bit more aggressive. They're going to have the Reaper and Tracer.
And the cool thing about Tracer being run more against these tank-heavy compositions is that it really makes good use of Tracer's pulse bomb. But let's take a look at the defense right now. The defense, they're holding up top here on Gibraltar, but what you can really expect them to do in most cases is that they will back out to the server room area, take advantage of the high ground, take advantage of the fact that Gibraltar lets the defense set up very well here at the first point. So they'll stay up in front, look for a pick, but I would expect NIP to back off here in just a moment.
Yeah, and Himsy on the defensive end for NIP. Look for him to really make a difference with that Roadhog hook, able to just isolate players, pull them into his grasp, take them out with ease. And you see he's just standing behind his Reinhardt shield, and it's going to be the offense backing up, and they're going to go take the high ground. This is pretty common.
And what you'll see NIP do here is that they will back out and really just wait for Himsy to get a hook. They're very dependent on it. That's how they win fights. When they have a 65, they go in. But here we go. Misfits not wasting any time. They are being aggressive, moving right in. Rib looking for the other charge. Doesn't quite get it, though. Ends up getting charged and hooked instead. Going right down, and now with the 65, this is where NIP is in their comfort zone as Himsy gets right in the zone.
Yeah, and you see how devastating those Roadhog hooks can be. Soon comes in, picks up 2. Zappas, though, right on top of the enemy Tracer. He's able to take him out. And you see the fight from this third-person POV. It's going to be Misfits backing out. NIP going to control that server room, so it's right up here on this ramp where you see Mafu setting up. And this is such a great position to hold down, ZP. You can force the opponents down to that bottom choke point. Very difficult to get through, and if they try and take that high ground, you can just play so defensive inside that room.
And here's the thing, you take a look at how Misfits is running right here. They have to keep a focus on Himsy and not directly run into him, not give him free hooks. And Himsy right now, he's gonna find Zoom, takes him out. That flanking threat is gone. It's 2 quick kills from NIP. And NIP, the whole hog, keeping Nevix well away from the group as he spins Death Blossom.
And I feel like Whole Hog is an underrated ultimate ability. Like, it does a ton of damage, and it also just keeps pushing players off of the payload or off of the objective. It's almost a little bit like Winston's Primal Rage, where it just pushes players back. It's going to be NIP with another good hold. Misfits, 2 minutes to go to get to that first checkpoint. Now you see Crew is going to have that Graviton Surge and soon gets that Pulse Bomb, and you see where Crew is set up. You see that Soon is lurking behind enemy lines on the bottom left of your screen there. Now it'll be interesting to see if they can set up this powerful combination.
Crew right now just looking for the Graviton, moving right in, diving into the server room. Graviton is out, pulls in 3 people. Soon moving in, the Pulse Bomb not getting what he's looking for. Sound Barrier gonna stop him from getting the immediate kills, but the fall through is there. They still end up getting 4 as a result. The damage was done, and Misfits going to be cleaning out the server room and moving into the first checkpoint.
Yeah, NIP stays alive a little bit longer than usual with that combination because of the sound barrier, but it does not matter. Misfits cleans up the kills, and you see how fast they're hunting down the Zarya. does not matter. Himsy comes through with a big hook. That would have been a big kill because of the spawn point changes from the first to the second checkpoint, right? They're able to take out that Zarya. She's going to spawn up a little bit further away, but had to come back into the fight. Maybe Misfits gets a little bit more aggressive in that position, but as soon as Soon drops, expect them to just kind of wait until he comes up to make a push. And on the side of NIP, it's going to be Zappis switching over to Farah here for this second point.
And Farah moving in for the second point, especially on the defense, it's an interesting choice, but it does take out Zebosai right away. He's coming in off the flank. Hedan trying to do anything about it. Misses the sleep dart, is under assault and going to go down. So it's a quick double kill for Zappis as the rest of Misfits sort of spread out here near the payload.
Yeah, now Himsy is going to come in with Roadhog. Going to miss with a hook there, just doing enough damage though. Fraggy's going to clean up the last two. NIP gets a good hold. They're going to have an Earth Shatter for this next fight. Now Himsy getting close to that whole hog, and they talked about how they play around the positions that he likes to set up, try and get those hooks in with Roadhog, and he's going to take that high ground, get the advantage, try and bring some players up top.
And this is where Himsy is the big threat right now that Misfits has to deal with. They have to not get hooked as they roll in. They want to go for a full 66, but right now they're moving together. They're under the bottom. Nano Boost right now coming in from Misfits, powering up Nevix. He's able to immediately get rid of that big threat. The raid boss of Himsy is down, and Misfits well positioned, but a counter Earthshatter in from Fraggy. Knocks down 3. Here comes NIP on the counter.
Yeah, now you see it's just going to be kills cleaned up from the Misfits. Just 2 tanks alive here for NIP. It's going to be Fraggy and Mafu just trying to stay alive, and Rib just right in the enemy's face. And it's going to be Himsy still staying alive, though, for NIP. He's going to use that whole hog, going to try and push back the players of the Misfits. And you see Hedan trying to come in support of his teammates. Going to drop down that fire from afar. We got an Ana battle here. Sleep Dart comes in, connects with Reinhardt at a distance. And now let's see if Misfits can put together a push. Crew has that Graviton. They're going to have Soon, who switches over to McCree. He's going to have the Deadeye, and you also have Nevix, that powerful Death Blossom lurking from above. This is what they're trying to set up. They're trying to set up the Graviton with that Death Blossom. And
this would not be new for Nevix. We've seen this earlier in the day, and Nevix dropping right down. Doesn't quite have what he's looking for. The Graviton, though, does set up 1 kill. It's 5v5 right now. Nevix looking around, waiting for the Sound Barrier, the fade. Death Blossom might be in just as well as Nevix. Is going to fall in the end. NIP winning the battle towards the end. Himsy able to lay in the damage to Roadhog. And NIP for now putting up a formidable defense. Misfits only has about 1 to 2 good pushes left.
Yeah, and I was going to say, with 1:20 to go, is there something you'd like to see Misfits maybe change up in their comp, try and open this up a little bit more, or you think they still have the good team composition to break this?
For Misfits, it's just way too late to really change too much here in this next composition. We're gonna hope that Nevix is set up decently well here, but they're pretty dreaded ults, and oh my goodness, Zappis, the flanking Tracer Bomb takes out Soon, and that's gonna delay Misfits even more, where they will officially be down to 1 last push.
Yeah, I mean, that's frustrating, right? I mean, you do not expect Tracer to be in that position, drop the Pulse Bomb. It's a very big play there from Zappis as it takes out Soon, and it's gonna force Misfits to just gather up, wait here, and this could potentially be their last push. Nevix is going to have that Death Blossom. Rib now with Earth Shatter, but it's going to be Hedan getting very close to that nano boost. You see it's going to be Misfits trying to take control of that high ground. Look to see them drop down, get on top of the payload, force that engagement, and here comes Reaper. He's going to get dropped by a big Earth Shatter. The nano boosted Fraggy coming in, taking out Nevix. That is a big kill there, but the fight is not over. You have Nip fighting back. They're going to be able to use that whole hog, push Rib all the way up to the top of the wall. It's going to be Hedan, the last one alive. Does not look good for Misfits.
The MVP there, absolutely Fraggy. The Earth Shatter stopping Nevix right in his tracks, and that might be it for Misfits here. I'm not even sure they can get overtime in progress. They do have Reaper coming in, they have Tracer coming in, so they will get the overtime on the way, but their positioning is not there right now. Himsy should be able to land a good hook or two as Misfits rolls in this point, but they have the Sound Barrier. They pick up Zuppy, and they might be making something out of nothing on this last ditch push right in.
Yeah, and it's going to be Himsy just trying to connect with a hook. He drops, so all the kills going in favor of Misfits. And you see, it is just going to be Kennel, the last one alive. Misfits on their final push. We weren't sure if they were going to be able to contest, and it was actually the Tracers Soon of Misfits was able to get behind enemy lines. They pick up Zup right off the spawn, taking out the Ana, but it was really no Soon and Nevix able to keep that contested for a while. The big Sound Barrier coming in, and now Misfits, with 1 minute to go, has an opportunity to close out the map.
NIP, I think, did not reset their positioning in time there. I think part of the thought they might have had it already. They did not respect it enough of Misfits' zero pressure. And here comes Crew. Graviton is out, pulls in 4, and it's Misfits rolling in, and Earth Shatter knocking down that same 4, but everyone on NIP NIP able to stay alive for at least for a while due to the sound barrier as Zappis in over the sky, landing in the rockets, trying to turn this fight right back after a good combination from Misfits.
You see, I know Himsy right there on your screen. He actually hooked Crew, but Crew able to apply that barrier to himself right before he hits him with that shotgun. It gives Crew that charge on Zarya, and you see Soon just coming on the flank, being able to take out Roadhog, and you see they're putting a lot of pressure on Himsy now in this game. He's connecting with those hooks, not able to pick up those kills though, because Zarya doing a great job barriering her teammates.
And by the way, you do have Soon on McCree now going to be trying to deal Zappos, does deal a decent amount of poke. Earthshatter coming down from the side of Fraggy, nothing much coming of it, but Misfits, they cannot back off, they must go in right now. Nano Boost moving in for them, and NIP just backing out, giving them room.
Yeah, now Misfits going to be able to take out two. Zappos going to see a lot of pressure up top here with Pharah, going to use his ultimate, not able to get anybody. Nevix takes him out from beneath. And you see Himsy, he's so far away. He needs to get trying to get back towards his teammates as they're trying to defend the payload. We are in overtime here, ZP. You see players coming off the spawn. Himsy needs to get down there, needs to try and make something happen, but such a large target. It's going to be Ana drilling some shots in from afar. And now you see Misfits, they're going to drop the Graviton Surge. NIP is in trouble.
NIP is certainly in trouble. Misfits with the last gasp, able to cap it out at the very end. They needed every last bit of time. But NIP, they had a real chance of closing that out in hangar phase, and it was Misfits rolling in, last-ditch effort, not everyone all together, just forcing overtime, and NIP wasn't able to punish that sort of last-ditch positioning, and as a result, what we see here is that Misfits has opened the door to potentially winning this map.
Yeah, they did a great job forcing OT. I know Soon able to get on the payload, with that Tracer, just stay alive. Then you had Reaper coming up from above, Nevix dropping down, doing a good job staying alive just in time for them to come in and drop that sound barrier, just get that extra sustainability, which swings that fight in their favor. So Misfits completes the map, no time left here in the first half. And NIP, they went fully loaded with tanks at the beginning. Do you expect to see the same thing from them on the offensive side of things?
I wouldn't expect to see too many changes. They might end up going to a 3-2-1 in cases. There are points where NIP will run a Tracer or something to move in, but yeah, for NIP, it's interesting. I feel like Himsy definitely got focused down at points for Misfits when they actually did things well, and it just feels like the game revolves around what Himsy's doing. If Himsy is able to land hooks, if Misfits isn't able to avoid him, obviously things go in favor of NIP, but if he gets isolated, it's rough for the compositions that NIP runs to actually be able to compensate for losing that burst damage.
And dude, I had the same question. Whenever I'm playing at home, they always get on the payload, they force overtime, and they end up just winning the map, and I get extremely frustrated. So I feel your pain. I definitely feel NIP's pain. So Misfits able to complete the objective in the first half. Now, NIP here kick things off. They are going to have those 3 tanks. So you talked about that 3-2-1 lineup. They have the 3 tanks. It's going to be Mafu on Zarya. You're going to have Fraggy running Reinhardt. Himsy's going to be running Roadhog. The 2 supports will be Zup on Ana, Kinnel on Lucio, and then they do have 1 damage dealer. Is Zappis going to be running Hanzo?
You look at the Misfits defense, a big focal point here, of course, is going to be Nevix, using Mei to control space and not let NIP get the engages they're looking for. Mei is a great character at stopping an offense from blitzing right in. Now, we saw Misfits blitz right in, but they didn't have to worry about a Mei. So for NIP, that's something they're going to have to keep an eye on. And for Misfits, of course, they're going to need to watch out for Himsy.
Yeah, now Mei is pretty good against, the less agile characters, right? When teams kind of tank up, that's what we saw in the North American region. Mei is just able to separate him. You see Himsy getting a big hook there, though, but the big barriers of Zarya keeping Reinhardt alive for Misfits. Himsy just putting down some shots at a distance with Roadhog, trying to get a pick here early. And he's going to be able to take out Nevix. That's a big first blood in favor of NIP. Look to see them take advantage of it.
All right, and they're moving it forward right now. Zappos, of course, on the offensive Mei right now, and it's a 6v5 for NIP as Himsy takes down Soon, getting all sorts of vital pickoffs right now as he gets the triple kill onto Rib. This is the Himsy show, making it 4.
And now Roadhog just so effective. I mean, he can even be pretty effective at range, but you see just how Himsy is just getting right in the enemy faces with those hooks, putting down just high damage. Roadhog was a hero for a while, ZP, that a lot of teams were not going to, just because he has so much HP, he gives up so much ultimate the opposing team. But Himsy not afraid to run it there, gonna self-heal. The sound barrier coming in for NIP as well, but here comes a big blizzard out of the side of the Misfits. See if they can make this work for him. It's gonna be Mafu, though, able to take out Nevix. NIP keeps moving the payload.
Misfits right now, they should have good sense here and back out. You don't want to sacrifice your hangar positioning on a last-ditch defense moving in right now because it's not worth it. Now you take a look at NIP. They're getting momentum going forward. Misfits is not going to be able to set up in the top as they want to, and there's more opportunities here for Himsey to continue getting pickoffs as people back out.
And Zappis is actually going to switch from May over to Tracer. Do you like that decision or no?
From May the Tracer, I think May the Tracer is completely okay, especially in this longer hanger phase where there's more room for Tracer to maneuver. But here we go. We do have the nano boost out here from the side of Misfits as Himsey finding Zebo's side once more. Himsey's hate of Lucio's is legendary. And NIP getting 2 pickoffs even as Misfits tries to rush them down.
Yeah, and it's going to be NIP still on the payload. Zappis picks up 2, picks up a 3rd there. And you see Reinhardt's hammer. It's going to be Fraggy taking out Crew at the top of your screen. And now it's going to be NIP continuing to push the payload forward. Fraggy does have that Earth Shatter to work with, so you think potentially that sound barrier comes in on the side of Misfits. You use that Earth Shatter, knock down the opponents, able to take him out with ease. Oh, sneaky
Here
dude.
the defense crew is going to be looking for the Graviton. Flanking Earth Shatter comes out from Fraggy, definitely takes man the ride, but she's going to ice block out. Meanwhile, Misfits rolling into NIP backline, pick up 2 quick kills, make it 3 as soon, just going off in the back.
Yeah, and right there you saw a sneaky play, drop that Earth Shatter as soon as the sound barrier came in. They're just not able to pick up the kills. It is soon going huge with Reaper. Has Death Blossom, gonna go for that high ground. And Nevix getting close to that Blizzard. So here comes Misfits, you know, on the defensive side of thing. They're gathering some ultimates, see how they can stack them.
And you look at Zoom right now, he's going to be looking to drop right down in NIP. NIP does not have a sound barrier up just yet, so if they move in too quickly here, they're not going to be able to deal with the Death Blossom at all. Soon as a big opportunity to buy a lot of valuable time here from Misfits, and they need valuable time given how much time NIP has left in their time bank.
And Hiden also has that nano boost, and here it comes on Asun. He's gonna fly forward, not for long though. Himsey's gonna get him with a hook, not able to finish him off. Gonna go back, takes out Fraggy, and Misfits in control of this fight. The sound barrier comes in for NIP, but you see soon on Reaper, fantastic Maywall there coming in from Nevix, and he is just plowing through the tanks of NIP, chasing down Himsey, able to pick him up, gonna finish off Lucio as well. Fantastic play there by Soon. Now 2 minutes and 30 seconds left for the NIP attack to come in. And they do have that whole hog. They have the Earth Shatter again. You're waiting to see that combination, ZP, or are you looking to see if that Graviton, maybe wait for that, combine it with a Pulse Bomb?
Graviton is definitely what I am focused in here for this next fight. And Mafu, he's hit good Gravitons in the past, but Crew also have a Graviton, so we might have Gravity coming on both sides. We'll look at Zoom right now, creeping to the side, hoping they can just rush in and mow it. Kittle will set him up with the speed boost, and he's gonna roll right into the back line soon. Will you do it? Here he goes, moving to the back. Death Blossom out, and he's gonna find Fraggy and get charged into the side instead.
Yeah, and you see a big Earth Shatter coming down for Fraggy, but he's not going to be able to get anybody with it. He's actually gonna be frozen by Nevix of Misfits in that Blizzard. It's gonna be Crew picking up a big 3. It's going to be Rib with a nano boost as well. He's going to pick up 1, and a good hold there from Misfits. They do use a lot of their ultimates, though. They have nothing to work with right now. NIP does have the Graviton Surge with that Zappis Pulse Bomb. They will also have the Nano going in the next fight, so a lot for NIP to use.
So NIP, I think the big thing here is, of course, Graviton in into Pulse Bomb. Himsey with the hook, not able to get the pickup, but positioning in favor of NIP as they roll forward. Here comes Zappis, Pulse Bomb in the way, does not get the stick, but does not matter. Frag is all the follow-up they need, swinging his hammer with reckless abandon. 4 kills for NIP, and NIP in a great position now to get to the second point and challenge Misfits for a better time on last.
I mean, they just had so much to work with there in that fight. I mean, you have the Graviton, you have the Pulse Bomb, you had the Nano Boost as well. Very difficult with Misfits not having any ultimate abilities to be able to hold, and you see Zappis pushing forward, putting in a lot of nice tags on the enemy Ana, finally able to take one out. Gonna be able to take out Rib there as the tank's going to drop for Misfits. They're gonna come up the spawn now. It's big because Crew has that Graviton Surge soon, trying to get in position with that Death Blossom at the top of your screen. He's just gonna be lurking there around the corner, trying to get those good angles. So when he jumps down, it's going to be a surprise.
Take a look at Misfits here on the defense. Crew's gonna be looking for this Graviton. Nevix looking for the Blizzard. Here comes Soon, dropping right down. Death Blossom at the ready. Doesn't get anything of it. Ends up getting countered, and here comes NIP. The counter is real. The sound barrier is out, and they are pushing right back in the Misfits. 3 kills to none, and Fraggy going for the Fisher. The Earth Shatter knocking down 2, rolling in a clean sweep for NIP, and they are making some great time right now.
And they have that whole hog to use here on this final checkpoint. You can force players back into the spawn with it. We talked a little bit about how much chaos that whole hog ensues, and you see Himsy, he's going to call it in, but he drops immediately at the hands of Nevix. He's also going to use that Blizzard. It's going to force NIP off of the payload. Soon comes in, nano boosted as Reaper, cleaning up some players. And it's going to be a good hold there from Misfits. A minute and 15 on the clock, ZP. NIP has no ultimate abilities to work with. They're actually just going to get the Graviton Surge right now, and that is it. What would you like to see with them out of the next fight?
And the next fight going in here for NIP, it's going to be rough. They're going to have to land a good Graviton and hope for the best. I'm not sure Zapp is going to have the Pulse Bomb up in time, but the problem is that Misfits can open up the sound barrier and roll into them. The Graviton is out, but so is the sound barrier. They drop the beat. What an Earthshot from Fraggy! From behind, knocks down 5. That's going to be a full team wipe, and NIP moving it forward once more. What a great flank coming out from the Reinhardt.
It's a disaster for the Misfits. You see Fraggy coming on a flank, dropping that Earthshatter. Misfits not even an opportunity to come out and challenge yet again. A fantastic play there by Fraggy. The Graviton, they don't get anything for it. The Earthshatter, they definitely do. Good half there from NIP.
There is a interesting breakpoint to note here. Because there is only 36 seconds left for the side of NIP, that means that rather than having no time, now Misfits gets 1 minute left on their time bank to move forward. So both teams will get their chances to attack and move the payload forward. And we're going to see which team has the best last-minute dash in terms of finishing out this map.
Now we'll see who starts off on the defensive side here. And I actually believe it will be NIP on the defensive end. So we'll see what they set up.
The way it works is that the team with the least amount of time left attacks first. So because Misfits was gifted the extra minute here, they will be starting first. Meanwhile, NIP is going to have a minute 36, so they will have a little bit more time to work with. They'll have more of a buffer zone, but remember, in time bank setups in Escort, you can have crazy moments in overtime where the payload keeps moving, and moving, as Rogue proved just yesterday.
Yeah, we should break that down a little bit. So if Misfits were to get on the payload and keep it moving, even after they've run out of that a minute time they have, it will still keep going. So let's say they get that first checkpoint, they're still on the payload, they're out of time, it does not end there. They're able to just keep advancing the payload forward. And a minute's time on the clock, Misfits on the attack, see if they can make anything happen.
Misfits just moving it forward right now, and it is Nevix on the Bay once more, going to be looking to get that critical ice wall, separate someone out, and look for the early pick. And for now, looks like Misfits is taking a low approach, going in with the payload through the bottom.
Now we'll see the ice walls coming up, just defending his teammates. Obviously, the ice walls can be used on the defensive end or offensive end, right? Just buying his team some time. Now it's going to be Nevix going up top. A lot of these teams want to take that high ground, want to be able to just shoot down on the opponents, and it looks like they're going way up top here, ZP. Looks like they're going to get on top of this. No crate here, just able to look down, and then you're going to see it's going to be Rib dropping down first. Nevix trying to separate the opponents with that Mei wall, trying to use the gun to freeze the opponents. Not going to work out, though. Himsy's going to be able to take out Soon. That's a big kill, getting Reaper out of the fight.
Soon going down early is horrible for Misfits. They're going to need to find another source of damage, but with Nevix going down, it's going to be rough at 64 in favor of NIP. The damage dealers for Misfits are just not there right now, and NIP with a great opportunity to just finish out this fight right here and right now.
Yeah, you see Fraggy doing a lot of work on the payload with his hammer. It's going to be Soon getting there to contest for Misfits. So this is what we saw earlier. He did a fantastic job, able to contest. He's going to get hooked, though, not going to be able to contest for long. The Mei wall goes up on the bottom. It's going to be NIP holding.
And for NIP, they are well positioned right now for their attack. All they have to do is push a payload a little bit further than Misfits did, and they're going to have almost 50% more time to go forward and do that. So for NIP, this is about as good as an opportunity as they could want. Misfits is going to have to play Gibraltar much more far up than you usually would just to stay alive here in this map.
50% more time is a lot of time.
It is.
It's a lot of time, ZP, and we'll see NIP attack. They'll have about a minute 36 on the clock. That will be the goal they need to get the payload to win the map. We'll see what Misfits does on defense. It looks like Soon will be running Reaper, and against a team like NIP, I feel like Reaper is almost a must when they go with these tank-heavy lineups.
Reaper is absolutely a must going against these tank-heavy lineups. It's one of the best heroes in the game for doing damage to tanks, but it's not a direct counter. That's one of the things where people go, oh, Reaper counters tanks. He has good matchups against tanks, but there's plenty of cases where a Roadhog can come in, land a big hook, and take out a Reaper. So it's about your positioning, it's about distractions, and how you get in. And that's why you'll see if the Reaper isn't coming in off a big flank, he'll usually come in a little bit later in the fight as other people have made a good distraction.
So, some teams, they get pretty trolly, CP, right? At the beginning of these offensive halves, you see a lot of Torbjorn selected with a switch out. Mafu, he's still on that Bastion. He's not moving, it looks like. I think he's going to start a little bit with the Bastion off the start, maybe try and get a pick here early, see if they can get somebody popping out here for Misfits. You see Mafu's going to set up top, trying to get somebody poking out. I don't imagine he's going to stick with that. I imagine he probably goes back to the spawn to switch.
I think for NIP, they were worried about the prospect of Misfits coming out and jumping them early, which Misfits was definitely thinking about doing, but I think they might have known that something was up. They don't go for it. They go to defend a little bit further back, but again, Misfits gonna have to be very aggressive in dealing with this right now just because of where the final destination goal is. And here comes Misfits. They're gonna be rolling right in.
It would have been hilarious if the offensive Bash was able to pick up some kills, but nobody from Misfits comes out. It's going to be Rib and crew able to pick up 1 kill apiece, and it's going to force NIP back all the way up. They're going to wait for their teammates, not give any more ultimate charges to the opponents. Now, you see, potentially we could see a hero swap, and actually Farah gets swapped out for May. What is the logic behind that?
Farah getting swapped out for May. I think it's just a case where they want to control space here in this tiny area. They want to split them off, and they do just that. Reinhardt split off by the May. They're going all in. The Zarya shield, though, going to keep the Reinhardt alive, at least for now. NIP thought they had an opportunity. Not quite yet, as Riv swings the hammer. 2 quick kills here from the side of Misfits, but NIP bringing it right back. It is so close on this point right now, as Soon finishes it off with a Death Blossom.
And it's only going to have 20 seconds left on the clock for NIP to get to the payload, and they're going to have to wait. Kennel's going to have to speed boost them in. They're going to have to try and make magic happen. You see Fraggy leading the charge with Reinhardt. He's going to have to charge right onto the payload, just try and stay alive, but that May wall comes in huge. Directly behind him, going to separate the rest of his team, trying to stay alive. The Blizzard's down behind him, though. Fraggy in a world of trouble. It's going to be Himsy coming in, trying to help him out. There comes the Graviton Surge out of the side of Misfits. Everybody dropping for NIP, and it's going to be a Misfits hold.
Misfits coming in the clutch. That was a horrible situation to be in, and they fought their way right out of it. NIP just not able to push a payload as far as they wanted to. And Misfits showing their experience here, taking the first map over NIP on Gibraltar.
Now, I was actually going to say I was going to favor NIP coming into this series, but I'm actually really impressed with what we've seen from Misfits at this event. I mean, they come in with some stand-in players. I don't think anyone really knew what to expect. They played amazing.
Misfits played really, really well, and it just felt like looking at their last matchup versus LG, it felt like they came in even stronger today. And one of the better metrics of a team that is playing at a truly high level is margin of victory, where when they went against LG, it didn't feel like it was that close. It felt very dominant. And if you could do that to a weaker team, it still bodes well for your chances against your stronger teams.
And I also think you got to take into consideration, too, that Misfits just played that match against LG. NIP coming in here, cold. This is their first match of the day. Now we'll see the play of the match from Fraggy. He made a lot of big plays as Reinhardt, none bigger than this. I mean, just look at how many bodies are on the ground, swinging the hammer, just doing a helicopter with that thing. I mean, you're going to just whack players left and right. Fraggy doing a nice job taking out players on the ground. That was actually just such a well-timed Earth Shatter. I mean, he came on the flank, dropped it down, was the players in the Graviton. Nice play there from Fraggy.
There are multiple parts that went into that play, too. The Graviton was pulling them in, and it was Fraggy able to go to that backline because Misfits, they were trying to counter that with the sound barrier in that fight, I believe, and they did a decent job of living for a while, but it was truly Fraggy coming in with the finisher, setting everyone up for the rest of his team, and it was just great stuff from NIP.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I know Hims also had a big game. Himsy with a Roadhog, able to connect with those hooks. Drop down, able to pick players off from afar. Now, Roadhog is just an excellent tank. I mean, he's a tank that deals just a ton of damage, and you see the hooks are able to land there. And then his ultimate ability, the whole hog, just able to just do a ton of damage, push players back as well. You see knocking back Reinhardt there. Roadhog, very versatile tank. A lot of people didn't love running him just because it's high, health pool, and you're able to just help build the enemy ults. And it's just, I think Roadhog has definitely come back into the meta, though.
Himsy in general, I would say, is basically the scariest Roadhog in Europe, if not the world. His Roadhog is the hooks that he gets with regular basis to where almost every game you watch is like, wow, Himsy had a huge Roadhog game. It is his standard now. It's not even that he's having huge games. It's that is his baseline, and that is a huge reason as to why NIP has had the success that they've had.
But do you feel like sometimes there's a reason that like you would switch off of Roadhog? Like, I know he's so good with it, right? But there are some situations where you think you need to put Roadhog away?
There's definitely certain situations. Sometimes it's based on what the other team is running. If they're really behind a Reinhardt for a long time and you can't get hooks, or if they're just playing around the Roadhog to such a degree that it's difficult to actually land what you're looking for. I think it depends more so on how the other team is playing, less so than their composition overall. But still, getting around a Roadhog like Himsy, easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, he has just caused a lot of trouble for teams here this weekend. And we'll take just a look at some of the maps that are remaining in the pool. And I know before I was going to give you the option to ask you what map it was going to be, ZP, I just got word it will be Hollywood for map number 2. Does it bode well for one team or another?
I think it bodes pretty well for NIP. It's still a very good Roadhog map in terms of places of getting early picks. Teams like running the Roadhog on offense and defense, depending on what they want to go to, if they're running a more tank support heavy composition. However, I don't think it's necessarily bad for Misfits either. Misfits have played Hollywood many, many a time. It's one of the most practiced and played maps in the game. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Misfits is at a disadvantage here either.
Nah, you get a shot at all 12 of our players in this game. As soon as it's very close to his monitor, that cannot be good for your eyesight whatsoever. And I love the picture of Zappis in that armor. He looked a little bit like, season 1 or 2, Jaime Lannister before he got his hand chopped off.
Whoa, spoilers!
Nah, well, yeah, I mean, if you're still on season 1 or 2, I mean, you are struggling mightily in terms of
there is
watching. But
there's definitely a statute of limitations there, but there's always going to be that one person that, spoilers, all the rest.
If I spoiled the season 1 for you, I feel bad, but you can just fast forward your way pretty much through season 1 and 2, and now you know exactly what happens now. But it'll be Hollywood coming up, map number 2 here, NIP versus Misfits. NIP will be on the defensive side of things, and you'll see they will go with those 4 tanks and 2 supports yet again. Now, Misfits, they have not locked in their composition yet. They have a Symmetra, they have a Torbjorn. I can pretty much bet you have not seen a composition like that, ZP. So we'll see what Misfits eventually locks in. Let's talk about the defensive setup first. This 4-tank lineup for NIP. What's its strengths? What's its weaknesses?
The biggest strength of this 4-tank setup is that it's really hard for the offense to get pickoffs and start a snowball in their favor. For example, Zappis can go in forward with Winston, and when he gets low, can back right out. Misfits is not going to be able to get any sort of easy road to victory here. They're going to have to outpoke NIP pretty dramatically and earn any kill that they do in fact get.
Well, it'll be the Misfits on offense here, trying to set a good time on Hollywood. They win map number 1 versus NIP. Let's see if they can continue their good play. So the push starting to come in. It's going to be Nevix on May, trying to separate the opponents. And very interesting here to see that wall come in, angled off to the left. So the players on NIP cannot get back towards their teammates. Himsy, though, lands a hook on Asun, able to take out that Reaper yet again. And when the Reaper drops on the side of Misfits, they just not have a lot to plow through these tanks.
Once the Reaper is down, the source of damage is gone, and here comes NIP. They know they have the advantage. They are pushing in, but Misfits able to back out, get a quick pickoff, and they have respawns coming in, so they're going to turn this on NIP in a quick order here. But NIP holding strong, they turn it right back. It's very back and forth between the two teams.
Yeah, and you're going to see Zeb back all the way out as Lucio not able to do much against 6 opponents. Not gonna fare well for you. He's going to get back towards his teammates. Now you're going to see off the spawn, Misfits will have a Blizzard. They will have a Nano Boost as well. So they could use those to try and break this open on the other side of things. So NIP is going to have an Earth Shatter, a Graviton Surge, and a Nano Boost to go. So it will not be good. See the Nano Boost coming in for NIP. The Blizzard drops as well. Zappis with one, Fraggy with another, Zup in the feed as well. Very good hold by NIP, comboing those ultimate abilities, using them to their advantage. And right there, they only use the Nano and the Graviton Surge. They don't use the Pulse Bomb or the Earth Shatter. They're going to have Whole Hog as well, so still a lot of utility to use the next fight.
Really, it was the Graviton by Mafia that set that up. Getting an entire team in a Graviton, which was pretty much what happened there, is usually a road to victory. But take a look at Misfits. They're coming back in. They do have Soundbearer to set this up. They get hit by the Earthshatter. 2 are knocked down, and here comes NIP once more. 3 kills off of that. They're not able to drop the Soundbearer in time, and they just say, you know what, we're just going to reset once more.
I mean, Fraggy is like sneaking behind enemy lines with Reinhardt like he's like a Genji or something. I mean, he's just crouching down in that staircase. He's able to just drop down that Earth Shatter from behind, and it just disrupts the entire push of the Misfits. So it's a good defense here from NIP. All they have to work with, though, is Whole Hog. It's going to be Misfits with that ult advantage coming into the next fight.
And Misfits, a lot is going to depend here on Crew. They're going to open up the sound barrier. Crew's going to go with the Graviton. The Graviton is out, pulls in 3. Himsy, though, with the Whole Hog, going to be trying to put back in. No, he's put to sleep early on that ultimate. 3 kills coming up from Misfits as soon. Gets to work in the back line, cleaning up the remainder of NIP. And Misfits, they will be taking this point.
And it's going to be Zappis, the last one alive on defense. His body is going to go flying as he gets taken out by Crew. It's going to be a good break here for Misfits. And it might be NIP. Let's see if they come and challenge this one more time. It looks like they're going to elect not to. They're going to set up for the next checkpoint. It's going to be 3 minutes and 35 seconds on the clock here for the Misfits to try and get that second checkpoint, try and force it all the way to the end.
One of the most important concepts in Overwatch is not throwing good money after bad. You don't want to sacrifice all your positioning just to get onto a point in a last moment attempt, because then things can go very badly. You're going to ruin your second point defense. But here comes NIP. Their ults are out. Mafu with the Graviton pulls in 5, and the pulse bomb from Zappis. Nothing but devastation. Going to take out everyone. And that is brutal from NIP.
That was highly effective.
Yes.
That was very effective. That combination definitely worked. That's a high-level analysis I can bring to you, ZP. I can really kind of change your mindset on the game right there.
The pulse bomb that takes out pretty much on their team, yeah, it's usually, it's okay.
It's such a devastating combination. You see the pulse bomb from Zappis, Mafu using that Graviton Surge in combination. The only thing you can do is use those sustainability ultimates to stay alive, and it's going to be soon. Using that Death Blossom puts a lot of damage out, not able to get anybody with the ultimate, able to just use those shotguns, though, to take out Himsy. And now as he's out of the fight, it's going to be soon going to work on these tanks. Fraggy has absolutely nothing he can do. They're just jumping around in the corner, trying to stay alive as long as possible. Soon going to work with Reaper, and it's going to be Misfits in control of the payload, moving this one forward. They're going to have that Graviton and Nano boost for that next fight. Their Lucio will have the sound barrier for the sustain in case anything comes in from NIP, but a good break there from the Misfits.
And sound barrier versus no sound barrier for this next part is really a big deal. NIP is not going to have the high ground, and this is an area where you can just rush right into them. They're going to do that. The sound barrier is out. Misfits rolling right in, and they pick up 2 quick kills as a result. NIP not really able to restabilize here.
Yeah, no, Nevic's going to have that Blizzard, so you could see that come into this. Next fight, Fraggy with that Graviton Surge. Himsy, though, still on the hunt as Roadhog gets a hook from behind. You see a big Earth Shatter come in, and it's going to be Rib and Soon taking out 1 apiece. Zappa's going to switch things up. He's going to go over to Farah and put down some damage, but it looks like you're going to see Misfits complete the second checkpoint, and now we go to that third one, and this third one's very difficult to get, ZP. You see just that narrow chokeway you have to go through. What's the best course of attack to complete this?
Best course of attack is to save up a sound barrier and go right in, but hang on, Zebba's able to take out Himsy. There is an alternate route, which is keep chaining deaths as the payload moves forward. If the defense gives you that opportunity, and take a look at Soon. Was looking for the teleport, not going to get it, but Reinhardt getting spaced out by the Maywall, and Misfits continuing to keep NIP on the back foot.
Yeah, it's another strategy they could use, right? Just keep pushing forward and picking up those kills, and it just starts you to stagger those spawns. See a teleport up top. It didn't look like that's exactly where he wanted to go, as he immediately drops down low. And I think it might be because, Hedan has that nano boost. He has the Death Blossom soon on the Reaper. You have Nevix with the Blizzard, could combo all of these, but Himsy right around the corner. He's going to push straight forward, and soon is going to get hooked, but it's going to be the Ana of Misfits putting that Roadhog to sleep, and it's going to allow Soon to play along with his life. Nano boosted Reaper, so dominant here this weekend, putting down shots on Mafu. Nothing the opponents can do. Everybody drops on NIP. A good offensive half there for the Misfits. They complete the map and have 1 minute and 52 seconds to spare.
Minute 52 is definitely a lot of time in their time bank. It means that if it is a tie to start things off and we have to go into overtime, Misfits will almost certainly be able to get in onto point A just with that amount of extra time. Now, it's not guaranteed, but they've put themselves in a really good position, and certainly, I would say, NIP is on the hot seat.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I feel like 1 minute and 52 is like a really nice amount of time. I mean, if they get a chance to go and attack again, if needed, would say, you know, you got to feel pretty good if you're the Misfits. And they did a very good job there at the end using that Reaper Nano Boost Death Blossom combination, but it was really no Ana at the end, putting that Roadhog Himsy. As soon as he hooked Soon when he was going in with that Nano Boost, he gets put to sleep. It's an easy kill for Soon to pick up then. I mean, as Soon drops there, that's a huge swing in NIP's favor.
Soon is really, really good at cleanup, especially when there's uneven number situations. And in that case, just Roadhog versus Nano Boosted Reaper. Once the threat of the hook is gone and you don't have an active hook with that stun, that is a fight that Reaper wins, especially with a Nano Boost on you. And more than anything else, where NIP effectively lost that game on the defense was that they simply did not reestablish their defense the way they wanted to. And as a result, they're now have their backs up against the wall.
Yeah, NIP with a long way to go. You see the goal there on your screen. They will have to get to that point. You know, force that next, you know, time bank scenario. It's going to be Misfits with a minute 52 in their bank. Let's see if NIP can complete the map with anything to spare. The offensive end, you think that's going to be their full comp that they're going to lock in, or you think there might be some changes? It seems to be actually the kind of similar to what they had on Gibraltar, where they had Hanzo at the start.
That looks like the composition they're going to lock in. And we talk about Zappis going forward here. It's a double pick comp where their goal here is that either Himsy or Zappis is going to get a quick pick off. Zappis, of course, with a Hanzo headshot arrow. Himsy with a hook that allows for immediate burst damage. So for NIP, that's what they're banking on. It's going to be up to Misfits to counter poke and not get hit by any of those quick kill shots.
Yeah, and I feel like Hanzo is such a high-risk, high-reward hero. Let's see if Zappis can make anything worth it. He's going to use that Sonic Arrow, gain some vision. Just putting down some shots on that Reinhardt shield, potentially, you know, building towards that ultimate, which you can combine with Zarya's Graviton Surge, really do a lot of nice things, or you can use it just as a great zoning mechanic to get people off the point. But you know, right now, NIP just poking, trying to create some damage on the other side of things. You can take a look at the ultimate charge at the top of your screen. It's going to be Zup getting very close to that Nano. A fantastic Maywall, though, coming in from Nevix, saving a teammate's life.
That was beautiful to stop the hook from bringing him all the way. And take a look at this right now. It's still 5v5. Zappis able to find a pickoff here, but Nevix has done enough damage. The Blizzard is out. The weather is changing, and Zarya getting hooked once more. It is truly back and forth between the two teams of Misfits, starting to turn it in their favor. Nevix getting the double towards the end, and Nevix certainly the MVP of that fight. What a great use of Ice Wall.
Yeah, I mean, NIP, they used their Nano Boost during that fight. You know, they will get it back. Ana, you know, very good at doing, you know, tons of healing, able to build that ultimate charge very fast, but so to use that ultimate ability, not get the win there at the beginning, very difficult to see. And now it's going to be Mafu pushing forward, has that Graviton Surge. You're going to see the Reaper soon flying in with that Nano Boost. He's able to get one. The Graviton, though, comes in for NIP. It's going to be Mafu put to sleep there during the fight. And it's going to be Misfits holding on. Fantastic play there.
Really, really good stuff coming in. Of course, Soon rolling for cleanup, and now going to the next fight. Soon going to be sneaky once more. Has Death Blossom at the ready. And NIP, if they feel the pressure and rolling a little bit too quickly, this is where they could be setting themselves up for a huge Death Blossom. And let's take a look at that. Soon creeping, waiting. He knows that NIP is coming in, and he's going for the over-the-top approach. He's going to jump right down. Here we go. Soon moving right in. Speed boost out. Death Blossom in. Only picks up one before going down.
Yeah, he's going to drop in the hands of Mafu, picks up two. Crew is going to get up another. You see the Maywall coming in there for NIP, trying to just shield off some damage. Zap is coming over the top, though. It's going to be NIP dropping the sound barrier, getting onto the point. They want to take this one, ZP, right here. And you see Nevix just trying to hold this off. Has his Lucio to support. The Maywall just trying to buy NIP some time there, coming in. A Blizzard's going to drop as well. Nevix just trying to stay up. Him and his teammates going to be froze on the point. Hey, Anna, what's up? We can't move anywhere. Hello. Yep. And now it's going to be Misfits with a great hold.
Did you know that Ana has a really icy stare?
That's a good one.
Well, here comes NIP.
You know, you're significantly funnier than Goldenboy. Like, I actually think Goldenboy may be the most unfunny person in the world.
It might be true, but he is a national treasure. But here we go. Hook is out from him.
Highly
brings
debatable.
Crew on a ride. Earthshatter with the follow through, but Nevix the save. Ice Spirit going to keep that from being too badly as he picks up the double kill. And Misfits holding in once more. NIP going to be down to their last push. Only 49 seconds remaining. They're going to have to throw everything into it, and they don't have a whole lot ult-wise.
I was going to say, what are they going to throw into it? I mean, they got nothing to work with right now. No, they should get that nano boost, but you got to wait a little bit. Then the clock is going to run down. Misfits, they have that Death Blossom, have the Blizzard to work with. So even if NIP gets that nano boost, you will see Nevix drop that Blizzard, stop that nano boosted player in his tracks.
Alrighty, and so there's so many ults up here for Misfits. They're gonna roll in. The nano boost is the only thing, and here comes Soon, helicoptering in over the top. Gets down Himsy, poking the back line, taking down Kindle. It's a double for Soon, and NIP's chances starting to wilt away here as Misfits holding strong once more.
Yeah, with only 9 seconds left, NIP needs to get on the point, needs to try and contest. Maywalls from both teams just coming in. A Blizzard being dropped as well. Rib going to be put to sleep, going to drop a big Earth Shatter. He's going to get Nano Boost as well. Here comes Himsy though. He's going to have Whole Hog get inside of the point. He's going to be able to get one. Hedan's going to be able to take him out from behind. And Misfits going to hold on, going to take map number 2.
What a game from Misfits to have that full hold on First Point Hollywood. They are on fire right now, and for NIP, if they want to stay alive, they are going to have to do the reverse sweep.
Yeah, NIP in a lot of trouble here. This is a team that, you know, a lot of people talking about coming into this event, a lot of high hopes for them. They have their backs against the wall coming into this one, and it's going to be very difficult for them to try and make this comeback, CP. And I don't know what they can change up to be able to do so.
Being able to change this up here, I mean, it's going to be rough. The problem with NIP historically is that NIP has problems adapting. When their strategy isn't working, this is pretty much the main strategy that they have in terms of focusing on a tank-heavy composition. Their strong point has never been adapting in the middle of a series.
And I feel like Soon on the other side of things for Misfits has just been huge on Reaper. I mean, you see a tank-heavy lineup for the side of NIP. You expect to see Reaper on the other side. Reaper is such a great hero at just busting through these tanks. What can they do to kind of counteract that?
It's hard. I mean, the best thing you can do with Soon is going in on him, getting him with the hook, trying to isolate him out, but Reaper's pretty slippery, and Soon has been doing a great job overall.
It's an interesting way to describe Reaper. Slippery. He doesn't seem very slippery. He seems very deadly. You like that one? I got it from Goldenboy. NIP, they find themselves backs against the wall Soon, doing a fantastic job for Misfits on that Reaper. And you see the series score on your screen. It's going to be Misfits up 2-0. And I know the maps that we have left are going to be Route 66, Kings Row, and Eichenwalde. That is going to be the map. Eichenwalde will be map number 3.
So for Eichenwalde, the question is for NIP, what are their strengths going into it? I would say for them, they do play Pharah a little bit more than other teams right now. I think they're going to hope that Zappis on his Pharah play can give them the extra dimension they need to set a quicker time on attack and put things in their favor. And that's basically the other strategy they have in their pocket. Based on what we've seen here thus far, though, I think Misfits is going to deal with it pretty well.
Yeah, and you see some fans at home can't decide. NIP or Misfits. NIP, such a legendary organization in esports. And Misfits comes in, just one of the better stories we have here at the Overwatch Open. 1 game away from taking this series. And the winner of this would go on to face off the winner against Rogue and FaZe in the EU Grand Finals, fighting for a spot to be on TBS Friday night. Everybody wants to play on TV. That's pretty cool.
That is the prize to go on TV. Not only getting a chance of that prize pool, but hey, to say that you've played on TV, that's a cool thing to have on your resume.
Well, hopefully you can say you can play good on TV. I mean, there's one thing to make it a TV and just play baseball. You got to get there and you got to play good. Don't want to disappoint your friends and family at home, all your fans around the world as well. NIP, they are going to set up things on the defensive end with a little bit different of a comp than usual. We saw a lot of their 4 tanks to support setups in the previous 2 maps. This time they're going to have May on the defensive end, combo that with 3 tanks. You're going to have Himsy sticking to that Roadhog, Fraggy on Reinhardt, Mafu on Zarya. Zup's going to be running Ana, and Kinnel will be Lucio. And yep, Torbjorn, that's not going to work. You're not going to bring that back to life.
I don't think he's trying to bring it back to life. I think he's trying to kill it more.
He was. No, he was trying to bring it back to life. That's what you do with the hammer. You just bring the turret to life.
But Torbjorn hates robots. That is his thing.
Oh, you're getting too technical for me now,
that is in the lore. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
He actually just will not share any seats with Zenyatta, just so you know.
Whatever you say. I guess I don't really have anything to combat that. I didn't write the story, but it will be Misfits on offense here. See if they can push on through. Soon we'll be on that Reapers, given the opposing team so much trouble. You see 2 Maywalls going down. Nevic's not going to be able to pass through. And now the Lucio speed boost comes in. It's going to be Misfits planning the attack, getting very aggressive to the side of NIP.
And unfortunately for NIP, they weren't able to land the hook or ice wall opening that they're looking for. And soon gets to the back line, takes down Zuppy. It's 2 people down for each side, but remember, the offense reinforces a bit quicker here as Zappis trying to be the hero and bring it back as both teams taking their shots at each other. Red and blue goes the kill feed.
Yeah, and you're going to see a big Earth Shatter coming in from Fraggy. Him and Mafu going to clean up the players on the point, but it's going to be Misfits getting 2 ticks. So you see that A at the top of your screen. You see those little notches. It's not going to go down once you pass 1. So it's going to be Misfits who just needs to get on the point for a little bit longer to start moving the payload.
So for Misfits, they will be able to reinforce this a little bit sooner than NIP. NIP is going to have to make the most out of the nano boost here to push Misfits back while the reinforcements come in. Himsy, though, landing the hook on the back line soon is down. One of the big threats is out. 2 quick kills here from NIP, and Misfits trying to make the most of it. The Graviton not doing what they would really want here in this situation.
Yeah,
NIP will be able to clean this out.
Yeah, now you know Fraggy's going to pick up 2 kills there on the point. He's actually just charges directly into the opposing team's Reinhardt. They both fall on the ground. Mafu, though, cleans up 3. Just picking up a ton of kills with Zarya. He's going to have his Graviton Surge. Fraggy will have that Earth Shatter. You have a lot of the ultimates actually coming up for NIP. I mean, look, you're going to have the Nano Boost on Ana. You're going to have Earth Shatter. You're going to have Sound Barrier. So a lot that NIP can use on the defensive side of things.
The big thing here is going to the Graviton Surge as they set it up. Mafu's going to be looking to trap them. The Graviton comes in. They get at least 4, and they roll in. Fraggy swinging the hammer, doing the bulk of that damage. A full team wipe for NIP.
So it is a team full wipe for NIP. They do a good job just taking out the entire team of the Misfits. But would you kind of say that's a little bit, you know, it's good for Misfits, right? I mean, look, they burn a lot of ults on the side of NIP. And now look, I mean, they're going to have that Death Blossom, Sound Barrier. You're going to have a lot to work with if you are Misfits breaking in now.
That is unfortunate. Soon was trying to escape, was blocked by his own ice wall. Of course, that was an ice wall put there to try and save him, but he does get out somehow. And here we go, next find away. Soon speeding right in, takes down Himsy. First pick here to the side Misfits. Soon going in even deeper. 3 kills for Soon. And this is working out. Misfits will be able to grab this point off of this.
And you see why a nano-boosted Reaper with Death Blossom is so difficult to deal with. I mean, he just comes flying in like a bat out of hell, taking out opponents. Now it's going to be Misfits now getting control of the payload. And in this phase, EP, you know, they think their comp is still good. Should they change things up? We've seen Genji and Tracer being very effective in this next area of the map.
I think it'd be interesting if Nevix stayed on the Mei for this entire second point. I think he's probably the most likely to switch, just because on the attack, it's difficult to get really good walls. And here comes NIP. They're coming in over the top. Reinhardt stuck in the ice prison there from both Meis. His own Mei not helping out a whole lot there. Graviton comes in from Misfits, but there's no follow-up.
Yeah, it's going to be kills going in favor of NIP. Himsy dropping down, connecting on a hook, chasing down Nevix. He's going to drop as well, so it's going to be NIP getting a good clear here. They're going to have 2 ultimate abilities to work with. You're going to have that Graviton plus the Nano, so they do not have a Reaper on the side of NIP. Expect that Nano boost to go on Fraggy, on Reinhardt. Misfits, though, they do have Nevix with that Blizzard. Could use that to combo against the opposing team's Nano.
Here comes NIP once more. The ice wall setting them up. They take down and separate Rib. But look at this. It's Misfits coming in once more. The Blizzard setting things up. Nevix on the Mafu. And Misfits putting themselves in a better situation as Soon going to the back, takes down Himsy, finds Zuppy in turn, however, as NIP not truly giving this up for free.
No, and you see Rib is going to be able to take out Fraggy, but you have Zappis just trying to stay alive, puts that Mei wall, gets that elevation, and nobody able to get him. Now drops into the block. Not for long, though. He is dropped. Had a lot of players from Misfits surrounding him. You see the clicks coming in there from Mei, using her secondary fire, putting down nice shots, and it does a ton of damage if you're able to connect. And I know just when it comes through those tight corridors, it's fairly easy. You just keep shooting down, spamming fire down those corridors. And here you see it's going to be a Graviton Surge coming in. Hedan drops down that and a grenade, giving his teammates some extra healing. Now the Sound Barrier comes in for the side of NIP. They're trying to stay in the fight.
The fight is still underway. Both teams laying their ultimates on the line, and NIP starting out stronger, but Misfits turning it back in their favor. It's Rib, Crew, and Soon moving right in. Zap is trying to be the last hope here, just in the back line on the flanking Mei, trying to freeze Zarya. And will get that freeze, looking for the headshot, not able to get it. Reinhardt in her way. That came down to the wire. Crew and Rib, the last two remaining. Reinforcements rolling in, though, as Misfits getting awfully close to the second checkpoint.
Yeah, and the really, the difficulty isn't with the second checkpoint, it's with that third checkpoint. But let's see if Misfits can complete this. Less than a minute to go. You see the Graviton comes in at the same time as Himsy uses that whole hog. You see nano boosted Reinhardt on your screen as well. It's going to be Rib with the nano boost trying to stay alive and pick up kills, but he can't get anything. It's going to be Crew and Rib trying to get back towards the point. It's going to be Zaps. Oh, go to sleep there, man. Just a little casual snooze. He's going to be back into the fight as soon as that Death Blossom comes in, but it's going to be the Zarya barrier that helps him stay alive, gets back into his block. Just so frustrating for Crew to deal with right now, trying to take out Zappis and not able to do so. NIP with a hold.
I think the great thing there is Reaper, as he was immediately killed mid-Death Blossom, just his body fell off the ledge. But here comes NIP. They're being highly aggressive with this defense. They don't want Misfits to even touch the payload once more. They're going to go in over the top onto this high ground and might drop down. But Misfits, they're taking the short route. They're going over to the right. It's dangerous. You could get knocked off. But Rib, with the Earth Shatter in the building, going to take Zarya on a ride. The rest of his team, though, not faring quite as well.
Yeah, now Rib trying to get back towards that payload. We are in overtime here. Misfits needs to keep some players contested on the payload to keep this going. It's going to be a big charge coming in from Rib, trying to get back towards it. Knocks Lucio up in the sky, and it is just going to be soon. As Tracer trying to contest over and over again. He goes flying. Overtime, you see the bar at the top is going to end. Misfits only gets that first checkpoint.
So this is definitely a win for NIP on that defense. Usually the block on this map is on third, where it's very difficult to complete it out, but Misfits not even able to get there. NIP has given themselves a great situation to be in if they want to win this map and stay alive in this tournament. Remember that if Misfits is able to have a better defense, however, that is it. They will move on and NIP will be going home. So this is still a good situation for Misfits in the sense that they have an opportunity to win here, but even if not, they still have 2 maps in the bank.
And I'd love to get your opinion, at the top level of Overwatch play. That first point, the initial one, to just get the payload moving on Eichenwalde, how difficult is that one to get? Because I know there are a lot of people, not going to name any, I struggle with it online, okay? I mean, it is difficult to coordinate. It's very difficult to get through that first choke. It's like, how difficult is it in the top competitive play?
In top competitive play, you usually see teams being able to get through and cap it more often than not. I think it's a little bit more difficult in the public sphere of play for sure, but top teams with good coordination can get through there. You still have a decent respawn advantage with people coming in. I wouldn't really expect Misfits to have the hold there, but there will be opportunities, I think, to hold on second. It's not impossible to hold, but I think more often than not, you will see teams cap it.
Yeah, I think you can hold it for a very long amounts of time, right? And then let's say if the offense gets it right at the end, I still think that's a pretty good hold and win for the defense. That will be where NIP needs to move the payload to secure a map win here in map number 3. Their backs against the wall. Misfits up 2-0 in this series. You'll see Nevix now on McCree. You've not seen him play McCree so far in this series. How is he on McCree?
I'm not sure there's any hero in the game that Nevix can't play at a high level. He's one of the most versatile players in the game. I would expect him to be pretty darn good here at McCree. I'm not necessarily say IDD, QD levels, but still a very good McCree player. And we'll see if it works out for Misfits as they hold here on the defense. I think they were expecting a Pharah.
Yeah, and it's going to be NIP actually connecting with a sleep dart there at the beginning onto Rib, and they're able to take him out in a hurry. So this is looking very good for NIP. They should be able to put a lot of aggression and power now towards the point. You see Himsy, he's going to use that healing ability of Roadhog, going to give himself some health back. They're going to be able to take out soon, so they get rid of the opposing team's Reinhardt and get rid of the Reaper at the beginning. That's 2 big kills.
Anytime an offense gets a 64, now a 63 as Himsy gets a cleanup, it is almost certainly going to be a cap, so everything going well for NIP here. Not going to be delayed at all at first, and for Misfits, they're going to have to hold near second if they want to win this map.
Yeah, and Nevix there goes for the Deadeye. Everybody turns around, focuses him for NIP. Soon gets in, just trying to contest. He's going to get hooked by Hog, and it's going to be NIP getting control of the payload relatively easily. I mean, nothing really holding them back as they push through on their first attempt. And now they have a lot of ultimates and a lot of time to work with ZP. as they move the payload forward. Misfits now on the defensive side of things. They have the nano boost, they have the graviton surge. You expect them to just kind of fly from above and combo those?
They are going to combo those. They will be running into the sound barrier though, so it's not necessarily going to be a full team wipe. A lot is coming down to this fight though. If Misfits loses this fight, very likely lose the map, and here they go. They're dropping in Crew, looking for the graviton. Nano boosted Reinhardt's in. They do get the first pick off, and Crew might not even graviton here just because of that early pick on Himsy.
Yeah, and I mean, when they get that first pick, you got a question, do you need to use the graviton there or not? Crew does use it, and they're able to pick up one inside of it, force the players from NIP back. See Crew there sleeping on the floor, courtesy of the Anadart from Zup. And now it's going to be Misfits backing out yet again, trying to get back towards that high ground.
Misfits is backing up, and you take a look. They have the sound barrier still. They're going to be able to do the soon and soon, like an eagle, going to be coming in from the sky in just a moment. Earthshatter coming in, though, from Fraggy from the flank, knocks down 2. NIP not to be deterred just yet, but here comes Soon. Moving in, rolling to the back line, just finding Zuppy, and Zuppy gonna find him with the sleep dart.
Yeah, and he's gonna try and have some teammate support there to just keep Soon alive, because obviously, you know, Reaper's so effective against the NIP lineup, and you see Rib and Co trying to come in. They protect Soon, he keeps his life, also has that Death Blossom as well. Now, NIP now, on offense, you know, they don't have a lot of ults to work with. They just have the Graviton. They have the Blizzard. On the side of Misfits, you do have some things to work with, and the clock is dwindling down. So, you know, Misfits starting to get in a rhythm.
Here comes Misfits. They are being aggressive once more, diving right in the NIP. This is what they have to do, given how much they have to defend. And Soon, in the backline, Nano Boost versus Nano Boost. He's going to Wraith for him out of there with all of 20 HP. Doesn't get there. He takes the hammer to the backside. And here comes NIP, definitely on the winning end of this fight.
Yeah, and that Nano Boosted Reinhardt is just so difficult to deal with. I mean, you just come flying in there. You know, you get that extra speed, extra damage. You stay alive for a little bit longer. And it's just such a powerful thing to deal with. And we saw a lot of teams really go towards, you know, nano boosting the Reinhardt, because pretty much most of the time you're able to fly with Reinhardt, at least get one kill and stay alive. You see the Mei Ice Wall coming in, just blocking off the defenders from coming back and challenging. It's actually going to be Soon onto the payload as Reaper. He's going to have that Death Blossom. He gets taken out though in a hurry as soon as he calls it in. A Mei Wall comes in, blocks Himsy here for a second as he uses his whole hog, not able to get anything for it. You see, going to be NIP backing down just a bit. It's going to be actually Himsy hooking the Mei of Nevix down into the pits. He's going to fall to his death, and now you should see NIP push up with this man advantage, try and push the payload forward.
That is what they're going to do here. This is an opportunity they cannot waste. They have the sound barrier. They're going to rip it. Why? The Mafu with the right-click knockoff. Oh my goodness. Not like this. That was Mafu just giving him the nudge he needed to knock him off the edge, and NIP now, they just need a little bit more than pushing forward. The Graviton setting up the final 2 people on the point. They're gonna move it in. They're going to stay alive. Let's take a look though, Rib, the final moment. Will it be enough? He has the Earth Shatter.
Now, he did use that Earth Shatter in the fight, and it's going to be Himsy though, getting a nice hook there on the Soon. It's just going to be Zeb's trying to stay alive there on top of the payload. It's going to be Nevik switching over to Genji. He is going to fall. NIP gets a big win here in map number 3, staying alive in the series.
And good on Misfits there for the final attempt. They did get a few people back to point at the very moment, but that was just too much to recover from. That right click from Mafu, oh my goodness. That is, of course, the Zarya bomb that has that little bit of extra knockback. Not a good trip for Rib.
Oh, and he knocks Rib off the side of the map, and he has his Earth Shatter in that situation. I mean, if he stays alive and uses that Earth Shatter, that fight could have been completely different. Now, we'll take a look at some of the highlights here. You see Fraggy coming through, knocking players back. That nano boost on Reinhardt, so effective. Now, you see NIP, they're in much higher spirits now after winning that map. Now it's going to be interesting, ZP. We just have Kings Row and Route 66 left in our map pool. What do you think Misfits goes for in terms of map pick?
So I feel like they'd want to go to Kings Row just because they certainly have more experience on it than even NIP does. They've played it for ages. It's one of the most practiced maps in the game. But even then, I still think they go Kings Row because I'm thinking about situations where Roadhog is good. Route 66, it feels like there's even more annoying Roadhog spots to deal with than Kings Row. Both maps are relatively focused in terms of corridors and all the rest, and definitely will give good opportunities to NIP regardless of which one they go to.
Now we'll take a look at the play of the match. It's from Fraggy. Gets that nano boost, charges into the opponents, all stuck in that Graviton. swinging the hammer, doing tons of damage. Now NIP with a fighting chance to come back into this one. And did you see that they changed anything up on that map to swing things in their favor?
It didn't really feel like much has changed up, more so than they were very comfortable on Eichenwalde with their strategies. They certainly had much more value out of their Mei, and Himsy had a very good game in general, so I think it just came down to execution, familiarity with the map, and Misfits just falling a little bit short.
Yeah, we'll see if Misfits can change things up now, as NIP has them on the back foot. I know Misfits looked very good in the first 2 maps. They were able to win Gibraltar in Hollywood. The last map, though, Eichenwalde, was NIP able to make a comeback. Route 66 and Kings Row, the 2 maps that we have left. See which one Misfits picks, as they're just waiting for the players, taking a bathroom break real quick. Take a little bit of a deeper dive into Eichenwalde and see Himsy doing a good job committing to that Roadhog and able to connect on those hooks. And for me, ZP just seems to come down to, like, as soon as able to take out Himsy, it's Misfits able to roll through, and I think if Himsy is just able to take out the Misfits' Reaper, in soon, that's when you really start to see NIP come alive.
Big robotic moments here all throughout the game. And of course the Mei wall there that keep them out of danger for part of that, which was of course great. And honestly, just good to be seeing all this Mei play overall. There's a hero that for a long time didn't get that much love, recently got buffed, and has really been a big part of many maps.
Yeah, you see the Mei wall's coming out and just in full effect, and this is where NIP really started to take control and move forward. And I know Zappis just did a tremendous job on Mei, and you see just right there dancing on top of the payload, able to take players out. You see Kindle there at the bottom just skating with Lucio, just trying to stay alive for as long as he could. This is where Rib, see you later, buddy, fell off the side of the map. But Zappis had a tremendous series. Just look at how deep his hero pool is.
That's almost 2 easy levels of crazy hero pool. I was looking at that earlier, I was thinking we need more space on the UI for 2 easy, but we might need it for Zappis too if he keeps us up. Really diverse, getting both tank, DPS play, and even a little bit of Hanzo too, who is a DPS, but more of a niche pick than anything else nowadays.
Yeah, and I know Hanzo great at the beginning of some games, try and get some early picks, and there you go, the camera's on you. Get a little bit of a smile. Warm up the hands a little bit. I don't like the hand warmer thing, to be honest with you. I like to play when I'm cold.
I could get that.
Yeah? I mean, what's your preference?
For me, I usually have pretty warm hands in general. They're never really that cold, which helps out living up in Minnesota where it is cold pretty much all the time.
I could never live in Minnesota. That just sounds miserable that it's cold all the time.
What, you don't like it being negative 20 plus wind chill in
not
January?
At all.
It's absolutely frigid.
Nope, not about that. I moved from New York to LA to go to the sun, and now I'm actually going back to New York. We're not going to experience the cold again, but it's not that cold, not as bad as Minnesota. But we are waiting for these players to sit right back down in their chairs, and we'll be able to get map number 4 underway. It'll either be Route 66 or Kings Row. Now you take a look. We now have all players in their seats. You're in the spot of Misfits. Which map would you want to be going to?
If I was in the spot of Misfits, I still think their pick is going to be Kings Row just because, and it is going to be Kings Row. The dream is real.
I know, you just know way too much.
So the thing about Kings Row, it's a map they've practiced a whole lot, and Route 66 is kind of a wild card that I feel like teams don't really like going to all that often. It's not the most commonly played payload map.
Yeah, we will be getting into this on Kings Row. We'll see who starts things off on the defensive side of things. It will be the Misfits, as see, soon we'll be going on Reaper on defense. It will be Nivix with that Mei. NIP on offense. This is where I think they can really make that Hanzo effective, ZP. You can get those early picks and then really open up the point.
And again, for NIP, they do like running these double pick compositions where it's not just the Hanzo, it's also the Roadhog. They're looking for anything that'll put the defense at a player disadvantage so they can be more aggressive and rush it in. And which, by the way, works out well with the tanks, because tanks, when you have an advantage, they're really beefy, they're in your face, and you're probably not going to be able to do enough damage to kill them when you're down a player.
And now we'll see if NIP can get anything going here on the attack. So it will be Misfits here starting out on defense, and we'll go on with Zappis. So he's going to be running Hanzo, and he's going to be trying to get these early first picks.
This is where Hanzo, it can be feast or famine. You have to look for the pickoffs, but sometimes you go a long time without getting anything. Meanwhile, you take a look at Soon coming in from the back on Reaper, laying the damage on the Fraggy, but ends up out of position, going down instead. 5v5 right now, but this is a good start for NIP as Zuppa going off on the Ana.
Yeah, and it was Soon just trying to get an advantageous position, trying to drop down and just cause a lot of destruction and damage with Reaper. But as soon as he drops, now you see NIP starting to push forward, starting to take control of this fight.
And this is where Misfits, they're going to bend back a little bit. They're going to wait for reinforcements to come in more towards the last second. They know that they're a little bit outgunned right now, so why throw good money after bad? And you take a look here, you notice some defensive main play coming out of Nevix. It sets up True for that kill on Himsy. And Misfits has an opportunity to come in and retake this after only giving up a third.
Yeah, and they put Fraggy to sleep there during the fight when he's nano boosted, and they do not do any damage on him, so he is completely out of the equation there. Would have been a much different fight if Fraggy nano boosted was able to get up, probably drop down an Earth Shatter. It's a big play there coming out from Hidan on the defensive side of things.
And one thing I really want to note there for Misfits is how they knew they just needed to back up for a while. They conceded a third of the point for the greater good. That's very intelligent decision-making coming out from Misfits. And now moving forward, Crew has the Graviton at the ready. They have Sound Barrier. They have all the tools they need. The Graviton is out. Fraggy gonna try and dash in for a little bit of protection, but it's too late. 3 quick kills coming out from Misfits off of that Graviton.
Yeah, and it's going to force Fraggy to back up, just try and stay alive, as now it's going to be NIP with 2 minutes on the clock, ZP, and Soon does have that Death Blossom on the side of Misfits, so we'll see if he can get into a position where he can, be a little bit sneaky, let some players pass, then drop from behind, or just come out from an odd position that NIP is not used to, and then drop that Death Blossom, and here he is. He's going to get picked, though, as you're going to see Zup take him out there right when the hook of Himsy comes in.
And the fight is underway. Zumpy able to take out Soon to start things off. NIP rolling in. The Graviton coming out lane to fight. Fraggy just swinging the hammer. It's 3 extra kills here from NIP, and this should be what they need to take this point, though Misfits just trying to buy a little bit of extra time in the end.
Yeah, and it's going to be Zeb just trying to dance around as Lucio, just trying to stay alive, and he's going to be chased down. NIP with a good break, and I think a big reason why is because Soon at the beginning of the fight drops, but here comes Soon just trying to stay alive. Fraggy's going to drop the Earth Shatter, and now it's going to be Rib inside of the point, just putting up that shield, trying to stay alive, trying to stall that it's out as long as possible. Players dropping for Misfits. Here comes Hidan. He's just trying to get in after putting Mafu to sleep. He can't get close. NIP takes the point.
I don't really like how Misfits handled that towards the end. That was absolutely a lost cause with how many people were still running back. They would have been better served to just get in the streets phase and reset up, because all they did there was delay them setting up their defense and give extra ult charge to NIP there. So NIP coming out ahead in that last fight. Misfits, though, still some outs. They do have, of course, the dreaded combo. Oh, no, they do not. Zappis, the headshot to Soon, taking him out with authority.
Yeah, now that NIP is able to take Soon out, Soon has not been able to use that Death Blossom to a good effect yet. I mean, the last time we saw him, he got taken out by Himsy, then just trying to contest, and then this time probably setting up for it, and it's going to be Zappis able to take him out as Hanzo. NIP with 3 ultimates going into the next fight. Look for Fraggy to drop this Earth Shatter, really start the fight.
Fraggy just waiting. They're trying to break the other Reinhardt shield. No, he's caught out by the ice wall, taken out immediately. Zappis, though, the Dragon is out. The Dragon is taking down Nevix. NIP still in a decent position right now. It's 2 kills to 1 to start things off. Late Graviton, though, coming in from Crew, pulling in 1. Doesn't result in any kills. And NIP being resilient as they push forward. Misfits gonna have to back out.
Yeah, and it's a nice hook there by Himsy, taking out Zeb. It's gonna drop the Lucio on Misfits, and you see players just start to fall as soon as the supports go first. Himsy with a very nice hook. The payload pushing forward. You see on your screen some of those blue outlines. That's going to be the Misfits. They are not going to contest this. They're going to concede the point to NIP. NIP steamrolling here on King's Row, trying to set a good time.
Take a look at NIP. They will have another tool for keeping this going. Mafu has Graviton at the ready, and Sound Barrier is up. They might end up trading out, but in this case, I think Mafu might be on edge with how grouped up Misfits is right now. He's just waiting for the opportunity. The Graviton does come in, doesn't pick up as many as want, but the Graviton or Dragon Strike is in, and it gets absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they don't connect with anything there. Zappis trying to combo that Graviton with the Dragon Strike and does not work. It's going to be Misfits getting a good hold. Soon starting to come alive here on his Reaper. He's able to pick up 2. Now you see it's going to be Misfits falling back a little bit. They have Rib with that Earth Shatter. You see Soon teleport up into that position up top. He's going to be sneaky. They're going to let the opponents try and come around the corner. Gives up that position. So it looks like they're going to change things up a little bit. You see he's going to hide inside of that doorway. Now teleporting to another location. Soon is on the move, trying to get to an advantageous spot with Reaper, catch the opposing team off guard.
And I will say, if there's a breakpoint in the game, it was the last fight where NIP wasted that combo and really put Misfits back into it. Earthshatter, though, coming in from Fraggy and the nano boost. NIP going in once more. Nevix is down. This is a good opening. However, it's 5v5, and Misfits able to withstand this to begin with. Fraggy, his nano boost is gone. And Misfits doing a good job of holding their ground.
Yeah, now Rib still has that Earth Shatter for the Misfits, and there it is. It's going to come in. He's going to connect with a few players. Here comes Soon, though. He's going to put down a lot of nice shots on Reinhardt. Has the Death Blossom to work with as well. You think, though, potentially going to back out. They may save this for the next fight. It seems like NIP winning most of these engagements, and it's going to be the side of Misfits that needs to back up. They're going to need to try and get on this payload, stall it out as long as possible.
They do have a sound bearer to rush out with. The problem is that not everyone's going to be up in time. Rip is going to have to sacrifice his body here in just a moment. Charges right in, but doesn't even make the payload. Sound bearer comes out, but the Graviton keeps Misfits back, stops them from getting on the payload, and NIP finishing out Kings Row with a minute 34 left. Pretty decent approach there from NIP.
Now 134, a lot of time left. You can even tell here in the venue, just the NIP guys, they have seemed to come alive here after winning that third map. Now, very good offensive push. A lot of smiles over on the NIP side of things. Misfits not as good on the defensive end. They will now go on offense, ZP. And what do you want to see them do?
Misfits coming out from offense, I feel like they can just run their standard stuff, run, of course, Soon on the Reaper, run a standard Reinhardt comp, go in, play their normal game as they usually have. And I think they have a good chance of beating this time or saying something good. Misfits historically pretty decent on Kings Row. So we'll see how things work out here. For NIP, of course, main thing is protect Himsy, use Mei walls to their advantage, where, again, they just like controlling the battlefield and looking for early picks. So if Misfits can avoid that, they'll be in good shape. But we will have to see.
Yeah, I think it really comes down if they can take Himsy out early. It seems like NIP plays around him on that Roadhog, relying on those hooks connecting and getting those early first picks. When that is happening, NIP is just rolling. And when Misfits, they're able to get right to the enemy's face, able to use that Soon on Reaper to their advantage. That is when things start to fall apart for NIP. Swing in Misfits' favor. Now you see that is the goal where Misfits will have to get to. They will have to push the payload to that point. And now, potentially if they have some time left, they will attack again. And on offense, it's very interesting if this is the comp coming out for Misfits. Obviously, some time for them to change. NIP, though, we know they're locked in on the defensive side of things. It'll be Zappis on Mei. I'm really looking forward to see, Mei can be very effective here at the gates of Kings Row. Combine that with Himsy and Roadhog on the hooks. Could be devastating for the Misfits. It's going to be Soon switching over to Reaper. He's going to be the one that we're going to be looking at to make the difference.
I was a little bit worried there for a moment because if Misfits ran in without a Reaper versus the tank-heavy comp of NIP, I would be questioning them, but they do switch it up. They are looking for their approach, and they're using Mei on this offense, and they have found Reinhardt right out. See ya to Fraggy. It's a 65 now from Misfits, and they have set themselves up very well to start up.
Oh, they are just going to push right through here. Mafu takes out Rib. You see a beautiful Mei wall there from Nevix, just blocking in Himsy. It's going to be Soon able to take him out. Nevix, though, he is going to drop, and it looks like that NIP is starting to swing the fight in this favor.
Even if NIP is able to turn this back, they've lost enough people that Misfits is going to be able to reinforce quickly here. The first wave of reinforcements is already coming in. NIP hardly out of the danger zone just yet. Crew fully charged up, but he will go down to Mafu. Mafu fully charged as well. And if NIP is going to recover, they're definitely making a better effort of it.
It's a very good recovery from NIP. They were able to drop down a few Mei walls, save some ultimates as well, and stop Misfits from rolling through, even though they got that first pickup. And you see they're trying to section off Himsy there as they put him to sleep with that Ana Dart. It's going to be Misfits with their Blizzard on the Mei to work with. You think maybe they just come from above, but you see the Nano Boost coming in from the side of NIP and the Graviton Surge as well. There comes the Blizzard out of Misfits, and now Misfits trying to push through. It is not working out. Zup picks up 3. Forcing Misfits back. Good first defensive holds here out of NIP.
NIP able to turn back to their advantage. They still are able to hold on to their Blizzard, a good usage of ult economy. The main thing here for Misfits as they come in, they have 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. That is a lot of pushes left for King's Row. And they are banking ultimates. They do have Sound Barrier into Death Blossom, and they're gonna look for, they lose crew immediately to start this fight.
Yeah, now it's going to be Mafu picking up one, but everything going in favor of NIP. You see Fraggy just chasing Soon out of the fight. Oh, beautiful Maywall there as Zappis traps in Hedan. And you see Fraggy going on the hunt. They're going to take out Soon as well. Now you're going to see NIP drop back, but completely dominating here on the defensive end.
And again, you take a look at Misfits, they have all sorts of ults up, but now their time is starting to fade. I would say that this is their window here, where if they expend their ults and don't get this point, it might be GG. So Ice Wall coming out here early on from Zappis to block them off. They're gonna wait for it to go down, about an extra 7 or 8 seconds pop, but here we go. Sound Barrier out from Misfits, and they run into the Earth Shatter, only knocks down one as Misfits swarms onto the point.
Yeah, and you see Fraggy, he gets nano boosted, but just needs to protect his teammates in that situation because the players of Misfits are just flying at him now. Fraggy in trouble, has 2 players in front of him. Unbelievable, they're able to take out Rib. The Sound Barrier comes in to save his life. And now you see NIP trying to get back towards the point. Fraggy has no health. He's starting to gain it back now. As you see Kindle trying to work his way back towards his Reinhardt. That Ana Grenade actually connects to Fraggy, so that is huge. He's going to earn all his health back, and now he's going to start to push forward.
This is Misfits now on the hot seat. Under a minute remaining. They are completely drained on ultimates. This situation is dire. NIP is charged up. A big Earth Shatter from Fraggy, knocking down 4. Here comes NIP once more, swinging the hammer, a 3K. And Misfits, they are coming down to their final push. They need to find a way of making this work, or NIP is going to even up the series and force a final map 5.
Yeah, Nevix right there tries to protect his teammates stuck in the Graviton Surge with that Maywall. Just does not work out. They have Soon with the Death Blossom to work with, the same with the Sound Barrier. So you could see that Sound Barrier combination with the speed boost of Lucio trying to fly in towards the point. On the side of NIP though, they do have that nano boost. Here comes Soon. He's going to get Sound Barrier. He's going to use the Death Blossom. He's going to be able to pick up 2. The nano boosted Reinhardt though, flying at him. It's going to be frozen there by the Blizzard of May. And here comes the Misfits.
And this is a case where NIP has done a great job to hold out for this long, but they might have suffered critical damage here on this point. The point will be capped out by Misfits, and they will stay alive. But talk about all sorts of time burned off. Misfits only has 2 minutes and 23 seconds to get to the next checkpoint.
Yeah, and Soon trying to teleport into an advantageous position, so when this next fight happens, he can just drop behind the opponent, raise hell with those shotguns. And Rib has that Earth Shatter. They have Hedan with that nano boost, so you could expect to see, the nano boost go to Rib, or if Soon gets that, Death Blossom, you could see the nano boost go on him as well. So on the side of NIP, they do have Himsy with Whole Hog, very good to use in these tight corridors. And you're going to see the fight started. It's going to be a very good Maywall there from Nevix. The Sound Barrier going to come in from the side of NIP, but it's going to be Rib with an Earth Shatter, and he's going to charge in, nano boosted, swinging on Himsy, going to be able to take him out. And Rib just doing a fantastic job, putting down a ton of damage after getting nano boosted. Misfits wins that fight.
NIP just not in a great position in that fight, and now this is dangerous because if Misfits is able to go through here in one shot, they will make up for most of their lost time on point A. Usually want to keep a team far back on second for a while, but you look at Misfits as they go forward, they still have a Sound Barrier up. NIP does have a bit of an advantage with a Graviton in the Whole Hog, but this is still a very winnable fight for Misfits, especially if they get a good Sound Barrier. And here they go, Blizzard is out, it's spacing things, and here's the Sound Barrier.
Yeah, and that Sound Barrier comes in as soon as the enemy Graviton Surge comes through. Himsy up top, laying down fire with the Whole Hog, and he's gonna drop down looking for opponents. He's gonna get a nice hook onto the enemy, and able to take out Hedan, but drops right away Soon with a big Death Blossom, able to pick up 2. A clutch Maywall from Nevix blocks off the opponent as soon as they're trying to contest, and it's going to be Misfits forcing the last point.
Misfits now, if everything went well, they could actually finish this with more time. I don't think that's exactly going to happen, but they've still made up a lot on that second push. NIP in a bit of trouble. They only have nano boost here as a big threat. Misfits, of course, drained on ults as well, but Graviton Surge coming up online, that might be enough with Blizzard as they move in.
And Zappis going to just use that little boost there with the concussion grenade and just fly out. It's going to be Ribbon soon picking up one apiece, so he's going to have to lay down a ton of damage, and it's not going to work out. Soon able to take him out, and you see just in the back, Rib swinging the hammer on Fraggy, and here comes the Misfits. They are moving closer to taking this point.
They are really recovering right now. They're moving in. Himsy, though, able to take down Nevix. NIP reinforcing on the point. They do have the Diva out right now. A little bit of extra stall as crew. Moving to backline. Kills Kinnel with the Zarya bomb. Himsy, though, being the hero, getting hook pickoffs, trying to keep NIP in this. I'm not sure it's going to be enough as Misfits scoring the point as soon, looking for the cleanup.
Oh yeah, and you see that big sound barrier coming in. Rib swinging for the fences here. He's going to have Mafu coming in on that Tracer. They're going to be able to take out Himsy soon with a big 3 kills with the Death Blossom, and it's going to be Misfits able to complete it with a very respectable time, a minute to go.
I gotta say, I don't like NIP's mental state going into this overtime here, where they had such a good hold on first and then effectively collapsed
They did
throughout the
nothing,
rest of the
yeah.
map. That's not a good vibe going into a decisive overtime. In theory, they're still ahead because of the time, but it just feels like the momentum right now is with Misfits. And NIP, they just need to take a quick break, mentally recover, and get ready for what we're going into here, because this is dangerous for them. If they don't come out on top, it's going to be Misfits winning this 3-1.
Yeah, and why was NIP not able to get anything good on the defensive end going once they lost that first point?
So for those who are wondering how one of these two teams is going to win, they both have extra time left. It depends on how far they push the payload after capping the first point. If neither cap the first point, then we will be going to an overtime. However, going forward, it is pretty likely one of the two teams will be able to cap that point. And we've seen some crazy mad dashes on Kings Row in overtime as we push the payload.
Now, we will see what happens here as we go into OT. It will be the side of NIP on defense. No, they will be going with that Mei yet again. With 3 tanks, Himsy consistently playing Roadhog on the side of Misfits. They will have soon. That is the big battle. Reaper versus Roadhog as Misfits starts the offensive push.
Misfits going in, of course, both ice walls coming in, blue and red together. Here we go, soon leading the way. The Misfits not wasting any time. I think they want to maximize their amount of attempts right now as they go in. Walls being an impediment to both teams right now. Zarya charged up as soon. Landing shot of a shot on the Reinhardt, but it's Mafu coming in, charged up. Gets the double kill as Misfits loses 2 very key members.
Yeah, Mafu doing a nice job on Zarya, keeping his teammates alive, dropping down those clutch barriers. Now it's only going to be 25 seconds left for the Misfits to attack. And you see the pressure being put in here by NIP. They're actually going to be trapped between a Mei wall there, and they're going to try and get out, but it looks like Mafu may lose his life here in the process, and now it's going to be the Reinhardt Fraggy. He's going to be nano boosted, needs to come up big here. You see the Graviton coming in though soon, picking up 3 kills, and it looks like Misfits going to be able to break through.
That was a gigantic mistake from NIP. They had no business being that far out. It was the Mei wall that punished them for that mistake. This is where, when you're in an in-person event, sometimes you do things you don't normally do. And NIP, perhaps a little bit too pumped, they went far out, and now they've opened themselves up to this overtime rush. Misfits, they cannot leave the payload at any point, but so long as they have a single person on the payload, they will be able to push it and get extra distance as their win condition.
And a lot of pressure on NIP. It's so difficult, with only 1:34 for them on the clock when they go on the offense to just get that first point, let alone get the first point, then get the payload moving. And they need to win one of these first engagements. But here the fight starts. You're going to see a Blizzard coming in for the Misfits and a sound barrier as well. Nevix needs to reload his gun. He's going to be chasing down Zarya. He's going to be able to pick it up, and everything going in favor of the Misfits. Himsy's going to drop. That will be a team kill. And now the Misfits continue to push the payload. This is awful if you're an NIP fan.
NIP is collapsing before our eyes. We are still in the overtime rush. This is one of the best parts of Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen. And moving forward, Mafu is going to have to be the one to stem the tide. He has the Graviton Surge up, but Soon almost has another Death Blossom, so if Zebosai can put Soon in a good position, they still might be able to catch NIP off guard. And here comes NIP. Graviton is out. Soundbear soon to be out as well. They're swarming over Misfits. Can they stop this payload? They do get the first pick off. Fraggy swinging the hammer on the payload, cleaning house. 3 kills for NIP.
Yeah, and soon Ghost tries to use that Death Blossom there, and he gets picked off by Himsy's Roadhog hook. Mafu and crew, they're finally able to clear Misfits off the payload, but the damage is done, ZP. Misfits pushing the payload a very far distance, and now NIP with only 1:34 minutes on the clock. They need to make their offense work early. They need to be extremely aggressive, very effective with it. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it.
This is pretty much the worst case scenario for NIP. I guess the real worst case would have been if they had gone beginning to end, but you never want to give up that much time in an overtime on Escort. You can take a look at the NIP players right now. They are stressed after that, and who wouldn't be? Because if they want to stay alive here in the Overwatch Open, they're going to have to do an even more ridiculous push themselves.
Ah, amazing. That was probably like my favorite voice line from May when I started playing, and Nevix has been incredible on May. We've seen some fantastic May play overall here at the Overwatch Open, and that will be the spot that NIP needs to get to if they are going to force a 5th and final map. Misfits doing a fantastic job there with their only a minute on the clock on the offensive. NIP with a little bit more time than the Misfits had, but a lot harder job now.
The interesting thing about the extra time is that once you're in overtime for that long, it doesn't really matter. Misfits, of course, had a much longer period of time. So for NIP, they're going to be in overtime pretty much no matter what as they approach that point. So they're going to be in a very similar circumstance to Misfits, even if all goes well.
Now we'll see how NIP decides to attack this, and they go with the Hanzo off the start. Very risky here in such a difficult spot, and you see they're very cautious to push through. They don't want to get Maywalled off, and they don't know if Soon is hiding around the corner on that Reaper, and they're going to be able to put one to sleep on the point, and you see it's going to be Misfits giving up a lot of the map here to NIP.
This is smart by Misfits. They're going out of their way. They're not engaged in fight very early. They're bending back. They're making NIP over-engage. NIP might end up winning this fight, but Misfits is burning a lot of time off the clock as Crew picks up the double kill. They just want to stall this out as long as possible. And this is really good. You look at the time, NIP already down over 40 seconds.
Oh, and it's going to be Zappis picking up 2 big kills as Hanzo. Nevik's going to have to fall back. He drops, not able to do so. And NIP gets in. They should be able to take the point. You're going to see Rib trying to come contest here for a quick second. He is going to fall. And now NIP, they will get their opportunity to push the payload forward, but not so soon, as Soon drops in. And he's quickly taken out. That was very anticlimactic. He drops. And now you see Zeb just in there trying to just pretty much die, spawn up with the rest of his teammates. But look at all the ults that NIP has.
NIP does have a lot of ultimates. I think Misfits would have been better off just backing out a little bit earlier as the fight went bad. They bought enough time that a single team wipe here in Streets will give them the game, give them the series, and let them move on. However, now they're in the situation where NIP, they do have really good ultimates, and it's overtime yet again here, Mr. X, so this is coming down to the wire.
Yeah, and Misfits will have that nano boost, and you see Soon get into that position up top, see potentially if he can make a play happen. He's going to get nano boosted, try and get to the back line, try and take out some of these players. It's also going to be the Misfits Blizzard coming in as well. He's going to have one player directly in front of him, trying to take out Himsy, finally able to connect with the kills. Now going to use the Death Blossom Soon, clearing out the opponents. Fraggy trying to stay alive here for NIP. He's gonna fall, and that is going to be the series. It is gonna be the Misfits taking it 3-1.
Oh my goodness, that is some exciting Overwatch. Both teams having an overtime dash, but it is Misfits, and it is Soon coming in as the savior. Misfits taking out NIP, sending them home, and they're gonna move on.
And I feel like for NIP, it was like do or die by Himsy with the Roadhog, right? And as soon as, not to say it again, but soon with the with the Reaper, when he was doing a lot of damage, they really had no counter to that.
No, not at all, and teams have had a difficult time dealing with this Soon. His Reaper play has been one of the highlights of this tournament, and what better to have than a really good Reaper player against the tank-heavy play of NIP. But for NIP, let me just say, huge props to them. They came out in a way in this tournament that very few people thought they would. They've made a name for themselves as one of the top teams in EU, and though they fall now, they have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, and you know, Misfits, just a fantastic run, keeps on going here with some stand-ins, you know, trying to put together a quality team at the last minute, and they definitely have. They have looked incredible up until this point. They find themselves in the EU Grand Finals. And ladies and gentlemen, we will find out who they will face in the EU Grand Finals. Right after this break, we'll have some analysis, and then Rogue going up against FaZe Clan.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Overwatch Open. We just saw what was our biggest contest of the day so far between Misfits and NIP. An incredible matchup. We got Goldenboy back on the desk to talk about it with Huck and I.
Actually, I'm here. You're here with me.
No.
Let's get this straight.
No.
Honey, this is my desk.
Sister, listen, they looked at it and they were...
Watch this, Goldenboy. You done talking. We're going to Malik in the coop with the Misfits, because I'm in charge.
You guys are crazy. All right, so we got to talk about this match soon. It was super exciting for us in the back. We were screaming at the top of our lungs. Going into the match, NIP, they looked very strong. So what was your game plan going in against them?
Yeah, NIP got a good composition. It's a unique comp. So we tried many times to play with the same, like Lenovo Cup, etc. And we tried something to counter that. And we tried, and it worked. So.
Right, I feel like we're seeing a different team. Have you guys really set in now that you've gotten your rest, you've gotten a couple games in today?
Yeah, well, we played. We're just screaming many teams, like on NA, etc.
Cool. All right, so there was an interesting moment that, and we were all talking about this in the back, at Gibraltar when you guys were in overtime, and you guys looked like you were getting ready to jump down and flank NIP, but then you guys just backed up, and we think it's because you heard the Bastion on the outside. Did you guys hear it?
Well, we wanted to try to play aggressively to lose many times for them, and we're waiting and we hear the Bastion. Oh, okay, well, we're back.
Yeah, that's what we thought. It was just very interesting to us because we just saw you guys all retreat and we were like, oh, yeah, they heard it. And it's cool. It kind of shows that there's sound cues and you have to pay attention in Overwatch. All right, so let's talk about that play of the game that you had at the end there. You're going in, nano boosted Reaper. This is for the game. What is going through your mind?
Yeah, I'm the DPS player. I'm Reaper, so the most damages hero on the melee range. So Aidan boosts me and I do the job as maximum I can.
Man, it was a hell of a play, man. You had a hell of a game. But moving forward, you're going to face off against either Rogue or FaZe. Who would you rather see in the finals, the European finals?
I don't want to. I will say Rogue because it's their favorite, and we will prepare for them if they won, obviously.
Okay, all right, man. Well, hey, it was great. Great match, and best of luck to you moving forward, man. Misfits moving on, and we're going to send it back to the desk. Take it away, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Malik. Excellent handshake plays there from our Misfits. Guys, this matchup looked like it was going to go one way, then took a hard right, then came right back on course for the Misfits. They took it home. So start us off with the first map. Huck, you seem so ready, and you just want to talk, and I'm just going to throw it to you now. How about now?
Yeah, I feel like they had a great ultimate usage. It seemed like the 1-2-3 punch. They're constantly timing things perfectly. Zarya would ult. They would wait until it's about to finish, and then another Reinhardt Earthshatter would come in. They just seemed to tailor everything perfectly, use it in sync. And we also saw soon on McCree. I think that's pretty map specific, but he did a great job there. And of course, they did come away with the win on Gibraltar.
Yeah, you know, look, here's how I feel about all this, right? I think that for NIP, they certainly, and by the way, I just want to say, Zappis, I love that play right there, because that had to have been frustrating. But I think that NIP, you know, they just had all the right ideas. They clearly knew that they were going to be able to match up very well against this Misfits squad. But it all came down to the coordination between the new pickup here, one of the tank players, Rib. He had some pretty good plays. He had some plays that were questionable from time to time. But overall, though, they were able to mesh nicely. And there's just so much to deep dive into this one. But I particularly loved, as Malik had alluded to before, that play where everyone was like, wait, we're going to dive. There's a Bastion. We're going to back away.
Actually, Huck, can you talk to us a little bit about that setup? This was when they reset Gibraltar because they had a bit of a tie.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting thing. Of course, they were planning on dropping down. And then I think there was like a little bit of scouting information coming from NIP, knowing that that was going to happen. They pull out the Bastion. It doesn't work out for them. The Mei wall ends up probably saving the point for both sides. They were battling out a lot on the Mei, but I don't want to take anything away from NIP. They did a great job as well, especially Fraggy. It seemed like he always had a plan. We did see him charge through, end up on the back line, turn around, hit an Earthshatter, literally 5 people on the ground, waiting to get cleaned up. He did a great job.
I just want to say, you know, Fraggy and Mafu are the tank bros. They were awesome. I loved watching them play. They made so many huge saves for their team. But yeah, you know, I think, again, going back to Misfits, though, and what really helped them out there was the team really just letting Rib do what Rib needed to do in order to open the floodgates and give them that win.
All right, the second match was Hollywood. This was also a victory for Misfits, but we saw some plays here that indicated a wide range of high-level skill.
Yeah, in particular, I feel like Nevix did a great job on that Mei. I mean, we can always count on Soon. That is the one very, very consistent factor.
He's
going
the constant.
Yeah, the Misfits, it's Soon's show all day. But he has great support. We did see a lot of great crew versus Mafu battles on those Zaryas. I said Mafu was going to be a player to look out for.
That Mei save, both teams had one of those.
It was numerous times, too. They did a great job. I mean, you got to have a plan going up against a guy like Himsy. He's going to have always that hook potential. And I think they actually put a lot of thought into that. Like, how can we stop this? Like, of course, we have the Zarya bubble, but we have to use that for other things as well.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that nasty play there from Zappis. Again, while this was a victory for Misfits, there were a lot of highlights there for NIP that, again, you really just cannot ignore. This was a hard-fought battle. No one coming into this thought this was going to be easy on either side.
Yeah, it's just interesting. I feel like NIP didn't really know what they wanted to do at some points. We did see them switching to Pharah a few times, and I think that comes a little bit more from like, we don't know how to react, we're getting rolled, instead of like, oh, we have a plan for this match, we know exactly what we want to do. And their heavy tank strategy kind of hurts them in some ways because they do have more health, and you're going up against a guy like Soon. He's of course going to get more ultimate charge because he's just feeding off these tanks constantly, especially Roadhog, I think is not a great hero to play if you're at a disadvantage ult-wise.
That's a huge point to make there, Huck, because these ults are what the battles pivot on, and never was that more clear, actually, than on Eichenwalde, where NIP was actually able to come away with the victory, and a pretty decisive one at that.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think they played to their strengths. They did a great job of setting up picks. This guy right here, Himsy, was doing a wonderful job of just chasing down targets. You know, you got to watch out for Soon, and you got to shut him down. And I feel like that's where they really shine, not only on this map, but on the next. But obviously, they won this one. And I think the map in general is just what they were good at. They've had previously very good games on this map. So hats off to them. They've done a great job.
And
Also,
not to, oh, sorry.
I just want to say, Zupe as well, you know, picking up and really reading the opportunities that were, you know, allowed for them.
Yes.
Again, just there was good plays all around from NIP. And you mentioned before, they just knew how to play this map. That's why they went here for Game 3.
And part of this was a little bit of the Misfits mistakes there on this. Right before the second control point, we saw Ryan get booped off with an ult charge.
That was a pretty embarrassing
And then even here, Kaino falls down. So this was an area where everyone's playing a little tight on this bridge. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, it's really tough, and there's a lot of potential to fall off. That was a big mistake. But all in all, I feel like, you know, they deserve the win. NIP actually played really well on this map, and it's hard. You speak about the Ana on their team. It's tough to keep those big guys up sometimes. You know, that's like your offensive line. They're so hard to get through, and a lot of times NIP's strategy is just, we don't want you to completely stop you from taking the points. We just want to buy as much time as possible. But they actually, on this map particularly, it's just a really tough map to take offensively.
All right, well, the final map was Kings Row. That was our decider map, and this was where both teams knew everything was on the line. NIP did not want to go out. They held on until we actually went into a replay of the map because both teams managed to all cap. Goldenboy, what did you notice on Kings Row?
Well, for one, I mean, we keep talking about him. Soon was a superstar. The guy's a playmaker. He opens up opportunities for his team. And because of that, I mean, you know, really just allow them to, despite NIP getting 3 points here, it was really just evident going into Kings Row for, you know, on the offensive side here for Misfits, that they were going to rely on Soon to give them those opportunities. Again, we hamper on DPS a lot, but it's just such a vital role here.
I think more importantly, we talked about this earlier, NIP are slow at adapting, and if you're losing, you have to adapt. You know, if you're a winning team, why change anything? It's working. There's no point, right? And they stuck to their normal composition and did a great job doing it. I just feel like both teams somewhat are having a bit of a group issue. One of the reasons EnvyUs is such a strong team is they're very aggressive, but they do that so close together. And then when the engagement happens, they spread out. I feel like both teams suffered a little bit, and May was very effective because of that. I want to say also, NIP, they went to Hanzo a few times. It didn't work out a lot, to be honest. Like, there were some times where they used that Zarya ult, they used the Dragon, and nothing came of it. And those are two very, very major ults, and that's a point that, like, maybe if you did have a Reaper, you did have Nano Boost, you did Beyblade back, you would have wiped them. And, I mean, Misfits at the same time, I felt like Soon got shut down on the last game, and he was kind of getting shut down this game, too. He had a very slow start. Their offense only picked up in the second and third stages. So they started switching up. They said, you know what, we're going to give Reinhardt the Nano Boost, and we're going to let you do what you do, play a more subtle role on the team.
Well, it's Misfits that came out the victors. It all worked out for them, and we are quite excited for it. They're going to be coming back in just a little bit to play out the rest of our EU group. But before then, we have Rogue versus FaZe to decide who their opponent is going to be. FaZe, of course, coming in hot after a win over Dignitas. Rogue, as of yet, has not played today, so they've had plenty of time to rest. Let's see if they're ready to take on the challenge of FaZe.